You know, if you lose a trade in space, it doesn't count because nobody can hear your screams.
Good thing I don't lose.
Frank. We're not lost, are we?
According to the spinning thing in front of me, I have no idea.
What was that?
Sorry, I just got an EDGEFINDER alert on my Discord.
Wow, nice add-on.
I think my helmet's too tight, or maybe my head is just too big.
Oh, it looks like we've got an incoming transmission.
Remember guys, we're doing our big Black Friday sale this month. Check out the links in our bio for more information.
Roger that, Julie.
Okay, I'm starting to think we might be lost.
Maybe James could help us with directions.
I think he accidentally blasted himself out of the airlock.
Again?
Let's go get him. Man, I've been playing too much Starfield. This feels kind of real.
Maybe we should do one more lap.
I think that's a good idea.
You know, if you lose a trade in space, it doesn't count because nobody can hear your screams.
Good thing I don't lose.
Frank.
I really don't understand why we're looking for this planet.
Frank, it's because someone told us that there's this planet out there where traders can get funded up to $200,000 in simulated trading accounts. And if you pass, you get the chance to get all your money back. It's really kind of a trader's paradise.
Traders have been searching the stars for a place like this, and it's just too good to be true.
Frank, you just gotta believe. Once you get there, they'll give you 15% off any examination with promo code A1Trading15.
Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it.
All right, Frank, take us out of hyperspace.
Coming out of hyperspace. Now. That's FX2.
That's it. That's FX2. The legends are true. It is as good as they say.
Wow, this is incredible. There's a big giant sign that's got a promo code at the front that says A1 Trading 15 for 15% off.
We finally made it to FX2. Get your discounted access to their trading accounts right now. Link and promo code down below in the description and in the chat right now.
Can you repeat all of that once again?
Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to what might possibly be the most important stream of this month. It is CPI numbers coming out in just about 28 minutes. We've given ourselves a runway here to get through some of this prep that we wanted to do. I know a lot of people have been asking for my opinion on what's going to happen with CPI. Are we going to get a hotter number than expected? Are we going to get a cooler number than expected? I want to say that if you're just joining in now, then I appreciate you being here. And if you would just do me a quick favor as we ramp this up, give me a thumbs up button on the stream. If you're a regular, if you're a supporter, if you appreciate what we put on here at A1 on these shows, then I very much appreciate it. I've got the shirt on and everything today, so we are at your service today. So if you appreciate it, then we would really appreciate a thumbs up on the stream. And with that said, guys, I want to ask you as we kick off here to let me know in the chat, what would you like me to cover? I have a couple charts that I know I will personally be taking a look at, but please let me know in the chat what charts are most interesting to you as we get into CPI, and that way I can do my best to cover them. First of all, I'll start while you guys give me that answer in the chat here. I'll be looking at that in a moment. Let me start out where I currently am positioned. I still have my S&P trade, and I know people are probably getting tired of me talking about it because honestly, it's been almost 2 weeks now since I got into this trade. Actually, it has been. It's been 14 days. 14 days I've been holding on to this trade. That's a long time. And honestly, actually, it's about 13 days. 13 days since I've gotten into this trade. And I can tell you that it is hard holding on to a winner. I know it sounds tongue in cheek, like I'm taking a victory lap, but genuinely, it is really difficult to hold on to winners. I was having, some of you guys might know Tori Trades. She commented on my Instagram. I was responding to her Instagram comment where she said she's struggling with holding on to winners. Same, right? Winners are the hardest thing to hold on to. If you agree, if it's easier, okay. If you guys struggle holding on to winners, do me a quick favor, type yes in the chat. If you're on the same page with me on that, let us know if we're not alone. Again, it's tricky. But anyways, I'm still holding on to S&P 500. My goal is to let this winner run until we break structure. So to be fair, I could trail here. And if we do get a nice pop here on CPI, if that does occur, my goal is to probably trail stops further on the S&P and lock in more profit on this trade. But I'm going to give it some room to breathe here because it is possible that we just get some normal volatility during CPI here. And so for me, my invalidation level, my stop loss level here is if we break through support around this zone here. So if you're somebody watching the S&P as well, again, that support that was held on the 13th and on the 8th of November, both of these areas being key spots, right? As long as we hold structure above that, I'll stay in the trade. However, if we break that structure, I will be taking a profit on this position that I've held for, like I said, at this point, about 13 days. Now, you guys put some requests in the chat. I appreciate you for doing that. A lot of people said gold. So we can definitely take a look at gold. Absolutely no problem. Thank you, by the way, all for the yeses. I appreciate you on that. We had a resounding yes on that. So I appreciate you on that. Also, some dollar crosses are interesting. US 30, UJ, gold. Yeah, we got you guys. Okay. So let me start. I'm going to talk about gold, but let's cover the dollar. I think this is important. And oh my gosh, the dollar has just been a messy chart. You saw me just scatter, get rid of all my analysis. That's because this thing has been so choppy. And I'll be transparent, straight out the gate. I am mostly on the dollar bearish side. However, I am not a predictor of CPI. I don't know what the statistic is going to be, right? Even the greatest economists in the world get the number prediction wrong often. Okay, so I don't know what the CPI number is going to be, but I'll tell you my game plan either direction. And I think that, let me just say this, guys. A really important statistic like CPI, you need to understand something. A lot of times new traders will look for somebody to tell them, hey, what's it going to be? As if we're some sort of magic fortune teller. But the inflationary statistics of the United States are something very difficult to predict. Trust me, I've been in this game for a long time. It's not easy. If it was easy to predict these things, the only people who know it are probably the guys way up in their ivory towers that know something we don't. But for the rest of us who are just, normal people, we don't know what this number is going to be. And in terms of that statistic, I would prefer to, instead of try and pretend on camera here that I know what that number is going to be, I like to help us all kind of prep for these scenarios, in which case you get an up or down from what is expected. Okay? If you're still tracking with me, do me a quick favor, smash that thumbs up button on the stream and type yes again in the chat, just to let me know we're on the same page. We do not predict the CPI number before it comes out. Nobody can. At least if you could, you wouldn't be on YouTube telling everybody what the prediction is, right? Absolutely nonsense. We are not magic crystal ball owners here. Instead, proper trading is prepping for scenarios in which the number is hot or the number is cold, right? At the end of the day, let's prep as a game plan. Let's be reactive to the markets, not predictive, because again, predicting is a dumb game to play. It lands you either really rich or really poor. And if you do it long enough, it's pretty much just really poor, right? It's really, really hard to predict what's going to happen on a CPI statistic. So Jamie has pointed out that actually I'm just kidding, and I am actually just a wizard who knows all. I wish trading would be so easy. Can you imagine the equity chart you would have if you could really predict everything like that? Let's just ask the big guys on Wall Street. I'm just kidding. Who knows? Who knows what goes on? I'm not here. I know nothing about insider trading, but you know that there's been so many documentaries about people getting busted for it. You know it's got to be going on somewhere. And to those who are doing it, that's, they got their unfair advantage, and that's not us. So we are here doing it the honest way, trading the honest way. So let's talk game plan. So let me give you this breakdown, guys. The game plan starts on the US dollar. Okay, so I want to show something to you in terms of support and resistance. So we have a level of resistance here. We've got two really key or key spots that each time price has made its way up to, we've seen this big reaction. Now, on the same token, you could take a look at the downside and say, well, you've had some pretty good support here for the dollar. Each time it's come down to this area. And now you kind of have this area that's in debate, right? I'm going to draw it as a supply zone because though it's traveled just above it, overall, I still see price kind of holding this zone. But here's what I want to show you guys in terms of game plan for the US dollar after I take a sip of my coffee. Okay, so if that CPI number, let's take the scenarios, okay? We have three scenarios to discuss here in terms of the CPI number. If the number is hotter than expected, as expected, or cooler than expected, let's discuss how this is going to impact the US dollar, most likely, in my opinion. Okay, if you get a hotter than expected number, okay, in fact, let me do this a little bit more. Let me do this a little bit more designed, okay? If you get CPI, so here's CPI, here's USD. Okay, let's do a little cross-examination. If CPI is hotter than expected, the dollar probably jumps. Why? Well, because if inflation concerns are back on the table, everyone gets creeped out. The Fed is likely going to keep rates higher for longer and potentially open up discussion for another rate hike. All of that makes the dollar really strong. But what about CPI if it comes out as expected? Well, expected is what? Expected is for inflation to cool off. I think in that scenario, you likely see the dollar decline. And if we see a CPI less than forecasts are calling for, which by the way, I think is 3.3%. The previous report was 3.7%. Okay. Let's discuss this. Dollar probably drops hard. Okay. So you might be saying, well, hey, wait a second, Nick. 2 out of 3 scenarios are dollar bearish. That's why I'm dollar bearish. But again, let me just be clear here. It doesn't guarantee it's going to go down because we still have this possible scenario. So we have to wait and see what the number comes out to be. If it comes out hotter than expected, you probably see the dollar make a quick push back up to the highs in the coming days. That would be my opinion. I'm talking about a push right on back up to the top of this range at the very least. Now, of course, that could take a week, but it could still be the onset of a little bit of a dollar push to the upside. Now, what's going to get us above the next layer higher if that were to occur? Very much TBD. Probably the meeting minutes would be the next thing that the market really looks at. That's how I'm monitoring this. However, that's not the scenario that I think is personally likely to happen. Of course, it could, but I think one of those 2 other scenarios, as I discussed on our little breakdown chart, right? If CPI is as expected, we see inflation continuing to come down. That's consensus. Or if it's coming down even faster than what was expected, those things could cause the dollar to really slide to the downside. So how am I positioning for this? Well, I already showed you guys my trade. I am still long S&P 500. That's a risk asset. This would benefit probably from the dollar going down. So if we see inflationary numbers continue to cool or come down further than expected, the S&P likely stays hot. So we're now shifting gears. We're talking indices. If you're someone who trades NAS, US 30, S&P, I'm talking to you. And by the way, I'm also talking to the gold traders. These things that are dollar denominated and even things like euro dollar, pound dollar, really, I'm talking about the dollar in relation to everything. We always cover the dollar so heavily on this channel because of just how important it is to most assets, especially risk assets like indices and how it could potentially also impact the price of gold. So for the gold traders, for the indices traders, likely if the dollar cools off in sense of seeing a really cool inflationary number, it's likely we see the S&P 500 sustain its rally. Now, the only thing I see really causing the stock market to fly would be much cooler than expected numbers. That would shoot the S&P probably to the moon, because that would be like, hey, yeah, the Fed's definitely done, right? If it's the nail in the coffin, it's going to be much cooler than expected CPI numbers. But expectations are already for it to cool. So you'd need something really substantially cooler than expected to really get a pop going on the S&P that sustains itself for a multi-day rally. Okay, that's my breakdown on the S&P 500. And of course, my goal is to hold on to the trade, as I mentioned earlier, unless we break support. This was a trade called out inside of our VIP group. And let me just do a quick reminder. If you have not already heard, our VIP group is where we share all of our trade alerts and signals. Of course, let me see if I can show you this. Frank, myself, and Ivan, we run this group in terms of the trades. You can see we did add Ivan, by the way. Those of you guys who know Ivan from the stream, he is now up and running, sharing his trade alerts as well. We share Forex, indices, metals, stock trades. Frank and I share all those. Ivan does Forex, indices, metals, and he also does coaching webinars throughout the week. So we got an action-packed live room. And as we speak, before we get into CPI, I just want to say we will be trading CPI in the live room, sharing trading signals throughout the day. If you would like to get in on this, it is currently 40% off. And if you message in on the website, you get 45% off. It is our biggest sale of the year. And just a heads up, yes, this is a sales pitch, but there's a ton of value in our channel. You get access to our trade signals that are very in-depth, analysis breakdowns, chart breakdowns. It's really meant to be an informative and educational service at its core. So if that's something you're interested in getting access to, we've just dropped a link to that in the chat. If you click this link, it'll take you to a direct message center where you can chat with someone on my team who will get you set up with a membership before we get into CPI so that you can trade alongside us during the day. Yes, we will be very active. We've got a lot of stuff that we are setting up as we're doing on this stream. So just a heads up, like I said, biggest discount of the year. That's 45% off if you message us. It's a one-time fee to join. We don't do monthly subscriptions. You won't be paying us every month. It's one time to get your access, join the group, and get on the action. And so I hope to see some of you guys in the Discord. Again, let's now take a look at gold, because I mentioned how that dollar could impact gold as well. Well, let's take a look at the daily chart, guys. Jamie says, loving the Discord membership. The breakdown that comes with trade alerts are improved my trading journal massively too. That's awesome, Jamie. Yeah, hopefully you see, through our personal journals, our trade signals that we're sharing, the idea behind each trade, the structure, the breakdown, the risk management, all the stuff that goes into, profitable trading. So again, like I said, last call on that is 45% off if you message us right now using that link that's in the chat. So come join us. It's the place to be. It is seriously packed full of value. And that is why I don't shy away from calling it a sales pitch. It is a pitch, but it's a pitch for a very, very valuable product that honestly, I wish we had when I was growing up as a trader. Anyways, let's take a look at gold. So gold pulling back to support. You got 38.2% retracement coming in hot here. 1933 holding so far. And I think the bulls are holding on to something here. You break it down and you say, well, okay, we've had this big run up on geopolitical fears. And now you start to see a Fed that looks like it might be done. Today, we're getting the nail in the coffin if we get cooler than expected inflation numbers. And things get all sorts of concerning if we get a hotter than expected inflation number. Because in terms of gold, what you'd likely see is that if that inflationary number comes out cool, it is going to likely signal that the Fed is probably done. Fed being probably done, gold breakout, in my opinion, right? If the Fed is likely to be done, there's probably some room for that dollar to cool off. And if that dollar comes down, it could help the price of gold. Now, of course, there is something I'd like to point out here with this. We've been in this little 4-hour downward trend. Yes, we're sitting at support and we've got this nice little breakout. I think if you get a technical, move up higher and then pullbacks, right? Again, contingent upon that idea of cooler than expected CPI, this might be one that we're trading in the live room today. So I'll keep an eye on this one. This is, again, we're doing our game plan here. A pop in the gold market on cool inflationary numbers very well could get us interested on the long side for gold. So now let me be also transparent here. If we get just a terrifyingly hotter than expected CPI number and the ongoing fight against inflation is not shouting victory, I can tell you right now that stocks are going to crumble and so will gold, right? Because, okay, think about it. Everybody is kind of starting to declare victory on inflation, even though Jerome Powell didn't outright say that. The market participants took his softer than expected tone, his less hawkish speech last week as an inflation victory. Now, are they right about that? Today's the number. Again, today is why it is so important. There's 876 of you guys in here. If that doesn't tell you how important it is, I don't know what will. Let me just ask you again real quick, if you would just hit that thumbs up button on the stream. Help us out, get more people in here as we get closer to the event. We want to get this coverage out to as many people as possible. And also just a reminder, don't go anywhere after the number drops, because after the number drops, we've got some real talent coming on to the show to help us actually trade it. Now, you might be saying, Nick, you're not taking any trades. That's because I don't gamble right before the news event. However, as I mentioned, we'll be very active following the events. Now, of course, the other thing I should say is that our top setups algorithm, the EDGEFINDER's algorithm that takes into account things like the commitment of traders data, the retail sentiment, seasonality, trend, economic data, inflation, labor market statistics, and interest rates. This column is likely to give us some fresh signals here today. So for those of you who are EDGEFINDER users, this column is likely to get this wheel looking a little bit more colorful. When we add in every pair, you can see, guys, there's a lot of gray on the EDGEFINDER. I feel like this is a multi-month low in terms of setups from the EDGEFINDER. I think that's set to change pretty dang soon with this inflationary statistic that comes out in about 10 minutes. Okay? Because what the EDGEFINDER will do, the EDGEFINDER automatically scans economic data like the inflation statistic. It scans all of that data for you, and it says, again, you know how logically I just broke down, if inflation does this, then it's likely this. If inflation does that, then it's likely that. For each variable and for each asset, right? The fact that I just did that heuristically as a human being, we've programmed our software to do it automatically. So the idea is that, when you're taking a look at the NASDAQ, when you're taking a look at gold, when you're taking a look at the US dollar, all of these things will be impacted by inflation, and it can somewhat be algorithmically detected automatically by software. That's what our algorithm does. The EDGEFINDER is at its core, it's an algorithm that takes in inputs in the form of economic data, commitment of traders data, and it punches out an output for traders to find more confluence in their trading. So I will say also, if you're somebody who's a regular viewer, this is also currently 45% off. And if that's something you're interested in getting access to during this stream, you can get 45% off of our software tools here at A1 Trading. We are a software company out of Atlanta, Georgia. And if you'd like access to our tools for the best price of the entire year, CPI Day is the day to get it. We've got tons of signals going to be generated later on, both by the EDGEFINDER as well as Frank, Ivan, and I. In the Discord, we'll be trading and sharing our insights there. So it's the day to join, get access during our Black Friday sale. We casted it out earlier here this month so that people can get involved with us for that best price of the year during CPI events. We don't want people to miss out. Again, really, it is the time to get involved with the Discord or to get access to our software. It's a very happening time in the markets. And that's generally, here's the thing, guys. A lot of traders are afraid of news. They're really nervous. They don't like news. We at A1 Trading, we love news. News gives us directional bias. It spices up the EDGEFINDER to give us a nice confirmation and trade signals, right? The EDGEFINDER loves news because new information gets this thing moving. It gets this thing generating some setups for us to consider. Currently, we got NASDAQ as a bullish setup. That one's been going really well if you've been watching that. Dollar CAD bullish setups also going very well recently. The Nikkei really bullish. Aussie CAD and the DAX, all of these getting bullish signals from the EDGEFINDER right now. So, you take a look at NASDAQ, and NASDAQ has been pumping. Now, of course, it may be due for a pullback. So we'll see what happens with CPI. But if you've caught this move from the EDGEFINDER, then congrats. This thing has been a monster mover. And that's the only thing, my only regret with the indices and I really shouldn't complain. My only regret is not going NASDAQ instead of S&P. But again, it's here or there. We caught the great move. We're still in it. And this was one that the EDGEFINDER also signaled out to us as well. So using market data, I'm telling you, it brings your confluence levels to another level if you have software scanning the market for you. So pick it up. Again, 45% off if you message us using that link in the chat. So let's see. If you think about it, we've got, what do we got? We got 6 minutes to go here with CPI. If you think about it, it makes sense that pre-CPI, we have not seen a whole lot of movement, right? So if we were trading the Asian session last night, that was probably one of the most boring Asian sessions out there, because again, markets are digesting and prepping for CPI. Here's the dollar yen. The dollar yen had like a mini flash crash yesterday on stream, by the way. We watched this thing drop 60 pips in like 30 seconds. Ivan was on the camera. Frank was on the camera with us. We had kind of a shell shock moment where we just saw this thing drop. I think, you know, if you're somebody watching dollar yen, this is another decision point here in the market. We're taking a look at this and we're saying, hey, look, we're at resistance. Make a move, dollar yen. Are we going to break out higher? Are we going to get this move here that gives us that next leg of energy? Or is this thing due for a reversal? Also, by the way, guys, we've got 5 minutes to go. I forgot to mention this. Can I get you guys' opinion on something? Chandler, if you could drop the link to our Telegram in the chat here for everybody. I just want to let everybody know we did a poll here on our Telegram channel. If you're not in our Telegram channel, it's free to join. We just dropped the link, by the way. The link is in the chat. If you would like to vote, help us out. We've got some, oh, look at this. Let's check out the results you guys put in the chat here. If you're, like I said, if you're not on the Telegram, please head over and vote right now. So here we go. We got, is gold during CPI, is it bullish or bearish? US dollar during CPI, bullish or bearish? NAS, S&P, and Dow during CPI, bullish or bearish? Come join the Telegram real quick and vote on this. I'll give you guys like a 30-second window here to go join the Telegram and cast your vote. So we have 457 votes, 438 votes, and 320 votes. Where's the votes on the indices, guys? Can you guys, can we blow up some indices votes? I need to know what you guys are thinking here. But anyways, I'll go ahead and vote and we'll get the numbers as well. So again, 457 votes. Thank you guys for voting in the Telegram. And again, if you have not already joined, you can find that in the chat right there. So there it is. All right, gold during CPI. Of course, this is a little bit of fun and games because nobody knows exactly what's going to happen. So let me be very clear. Just because I vote one way, it's not a guarantee that the market is going that way, right? Nobody knows what the CPI statistic is, but I'm going to lean, in most cases, I think gold is probably due for a bounce. And if I take a look at the US dollar during CPI, I think it's probably bearish unless you see some big surprises. And again, these things could change based on the CPI number that we do not know what it's going to be, right? We don't have future knowledge of what the CPI number is going to be. But generally speaking, in most cases, I see gold bullish, dollar bearish, and you guys already know where I'm going to vote on this. I've already got a trade on the S&P on the long side. So thank you to everybody who voted. And if you didn't, we do these polls all the time. So make sure to join the Telegram. It's got also there's like free analysis in there every day. So thanks to everybody who voted. We got 1,084 people in here, guys. We're getting into the event here. We've got about 3 minutes to go. And let's catch up with gold here, see how things are doing moments before the big announcement. Now, again, I will clarify, likely to see some volatility here in the next 3 minutes, but the volatility doesn't usually stop dead set right after the CPI number. Usually, you're going to see CPI hit the floor and volatility will continue for the following hours. Those following hours are my personal favorite time to place trades. So again, I want to clarify something. Everybody likes to trade the spike. Do not trade the spike, in my opinion. If you're asking me, Nick, do you trade the spike? Never, right? I don't place trades 30 seconds before the spike. That is asking to get yourself destroyed because nobody knows what that number is going to be. And one time where you take the wrong side of that trade and that market gaps open by, 1% higher on the S&P or 50 pips lower on the dollar yen, right? You got to be careful. So I trade the aftermath. That's where I find the best possible trade setups. We get that confirmation from the EDGEFINDER usually in the following hours. I love to see that. And that's where I will be placing my, kind of personal biases here in the market. So let me just remind you, remember, heads up, as we come into the event, we will be trading live inside of our Discord channel. Frank, Ivan, who's going to join me in a few moments once we get that number, and myself, we are sharing all of our trades. We do coaching webinars, trade alerts, all that sort of stuff. If you'd like access to that, again, our Black Friday sale is going on right now. Get you 45% off if you message us using the link that's in the chat as we speak. So there you go. Click that link, send us a direct message, and get in on the action. That's where the real trading will be going on today, is new trades setting up there. Okay, so gold, like I said, little bit of hold here going on. It's coming down to the wire here as we've got 50 seconds to go, guys. Let me set up my window here for success so that we can take a closer look. Let's get DXY up in the top left. We got to get the S&P 500 trade on the screen. No questions there. And I don't know what's going on with my my color scheme here. Let me get this going. Let me see how this one goes. And then finally, let's do gold top left. We've got dollar top right. Let's get this fixed. Right, racing against the clock here, guys. And last one, let's do Euro USD. So Euro USD on the screen. And breaking news, guys. Here we go. All right, coming in with the CPI number. Here it is. Let's see what we get on today's number. All right, euro dollar initially up. Oh my gosh, the S&P just gapped higher. Okay, S&P up, gold up, dollar down. I'm going to tell you guys right now, this reaction most likely is a cooler than expected number. Am I right about that? Did we just get a cooler than expected print on CPI? Yes, in fact, we did. This, I'm going to tell you guys, this is awesome, right? This is what the market needed to see. In terms of risk assets continuing their trend, it's of course never a guarantee with this stuff. It's not certain that this is going to continue, but I will say, this is what the market ordered. This is what I was talking about here. And of course, I didn't know, let me not try and sound like I'm taking credit for knowing this was going to happen. However, most likely scenario for me was, you know, hey, dollar should weaken here. And look at this, dollar coming down strong here. This is really nice to see for our trade idea. I imagine the S&P trade is looking pretty clean. There it is, up $13,840 off that signal that was shared in Discord. Again, this is a live brokerage, no nonsense. This is my Webull account, which is US regulated. We are running hot here, and this has become definitely trade of the year for me in terms of, look at that, $14,000. I know, you know, for some people that might be not a lot. For other people that might be a crazy number, but wherever you are, it doesn't matter. P&L is not as important as having the diligence to stay in trades that you're supposed to. Let me tell you guys right now, I'm going to go ahead and trail stops as we speak, and I need to do that. And while I do that, I'll be bringing in Ivan to help me react to this number. So let's go ahead and actually, we'll just go ahead and bring Ivan in right now. Hey, Ivan, how's it going, man?
Yeah, I just get my head out of the sand here, because that's a massive.
I mean, Ivan,
Wow.
is this a declaring victory moment for the inflation thing? Is this where the risk asset people say, hey, look, we've made it and we're starting to see the progress that we really needed? Is that, you know, or is it too early? I mean, for me, I think the market got it right. They sniffed out that Jerome Powell seemed to have seen some progress, and now they're kind of declaring victory. Clearly here, the market is voting as we see this thing ticking higher. So
The difference, I didn't see it, but I saw that last time was 3.7. This time is 3.2. In the headline, year over year. So is that like it's not a victory, but it's definitely okay. We have gone down, then up, and then now we're back down again a bit. So
yeah.
So everyone is going to be like, yeah, inflation has peaked.
It's hard to,
yeah.
It's hard to deny. I mean, in the short term, that this is going to cause a lot of optimism. Now, could the bears kind of hang on to the idea that, you know, this was already kind of baked in a little bit? Maybe, but that was still, that's a beat on what you mentioned is already a big drop in terms of expectation from 3.7 down to 3.3. We got 3.2. That is hitting the mark in some ways for risk on asset investors. Ivan, we'll share your screen here a second because I'm just trailing a stop right now. So what do you, whatever you're looking at here this morning, let's what do you think? What are you looking at?
I was looking at oil. That's going a bit higher, which we bought yesterday. And then all the N pairs. Isn't that beautiful?
Hold on. Oh, look at you, Ivan. That's wonderful. Very nice. And you just, Ivan, to just make you look even better here as I'm trailing my stop loss, if we show my screen for a second. So Ivan just got his channels back, which I'm thrilled about. If we, Chandler, if we could switch my screen over. So Ivan just shared all of his trades over in the Discord. And look at this. Just yen. I've never seen a more bullish against, well, bear yen. You're a yen super bear, and reaping the rewards today. So congrats on your trades there. Those are awesome. And again, Ivan's trades are now in the Discord, as well as his coaching webinars and mentorship programs, all available for you guys inside of the VIP Discord. And as I mentioned, link is in the chat. We'll drop that one more time for those of you guys who would like to join. And Ivan, keep going. I'm trailing my stop, like I said.
Okay, fine. You know, I was supposed to speak. I don't have sleep for this, but okay. So the thing is, I'm just going to say it before people say it, is this is a self-fulfilling prophecy. For yen pairs, the yen pairs for me, they're going to go higher. They're supposed to rise until 23rd of November. This is supposed to happen, and that they're going to have this massive move on the dollar. Move I didn't see, but the thing is that I love the most, people, is dollar yen falling. Look at that. Yes. Because that is a problem. That is my problem. My problem is that went to 151.90 yesterday. We saw it falling. Now it's falling even more. And then all the yen pairs are going higher. Fantastic. As I couldn't have asked for a better outcome. I said that in the meeting a bit earlier. I'm expecting higher than expected CPI, but if I get dollar bearishness, that's everything I can ask for as a yen pair trader. But
and I love to see it too, Ivan, just because again, that is lovely for the S&P upside as well, showing truly that dollar may have cracked. And I was pointing it out moments ago. Let me also, if I could just show my screen as well here for a second. I just did the trailing stop. For those of you guys who are inside of the Discord, this is now up to date. So I just trailed into profit further here on this S&P trade. And again, we had this conversation yesterday, and it is really, really hard when you see a pop like this not to try and jump in and take profits. But again, this is without, as you pointed out, with all those yen pairs moving higher, risk sentiment properly adjusted higher. Ivan, you've got things like CAD yen, Aussie yen. I've got things like S&P 500. At the end of the day, we're on the risk trade. We are on the risk on trade, and it's running hot. And, again, I just want to clarify, we do not get it always right. Ivan and I have been publicly destroyed. But right now, we've got it right, and we've got the risk on trade. I'm going to let it run and see if it wants to keep going.
Shuran says, is there any trades Ivan is holding? I have bought every single yen pair that is out there that is currently going higher. That is Aussie, CAD, Euro, Pound, New Zealand. I also have a trade on oil that was... come on, go up. That is supposed to go higher, but but yeah. So by the way, so the face of it is, or you might see that we hit stop loss, hit stop loss. I even don't know how to trade, but this is the moment that I'll live for. This doesn't matter if I lost the entire year. If I can catch the current move on euro yen, the current move on CAD yen, the current move on pound yen, and those are not necessarily a lot in profit, are they? 180 pips or whatever? It's 180 pips. It's all right, but if that one goes to 400 or 300, then my 50 pips, 100 pip stop loss doesn't really matter at the end of it.
Yeah, so I got to also point out something that happened, Ivan. This morning, not Garrett, my friend Frank, Garrett's another one of my trading friends, but Frank sends me a text and he says, so CPI, or he said, it's going to be really awkward when CPI misses this morning, or he meant lower than expected. And then he just texted me now while we're streaming. He says, see? So he's pretending he knew it was going to. And he was like, CPI is going to be lower than expected. Text me back like right after it says, see, gotcha. Frank's got the same trade. So
is Frank coming on
cool to see.
Anytime soon?
Chandler and James have the schedule somewhere. I got to pull it up. I work here too at this point. I just, I get told when to get on the stream and then I show up. That's my job.
You're like me.
Yeah, we just get commanded on. No, okay, so yeah, Frank is going to come on, but it'll be a little bit later. I think you and I will go a few more minutes, and then I'll let you have the floor for a few minutes. I think we're going to try and run that stream. But I think, Ivan, it's cool to see that you, me, and Frank all were very much on the risk-on side of the trade going into this event. Of course, that could have turned out not so hot if CPI numbers came hotter than expected, but sometimes it's just simply looking at the risk to reward and letting it play out. So congrats on your yen trade, and Frank and I are riding that S&P higher. So what else? I mean, what do you do on today?
Wait.
Okay. Yeah.
Wait. Okay. I want chat. Come on. Give Nick a clap for this trade. I don't know how many pips are you profit now. You're now 14,000. Doesn't really matter. But
thank you. You know, and I have to say I appreciate the support, and to everybody in the chat, thank you very much. I will also say this is hard fought. This is my victory speech, because let me be completely honest. If you guys saw my Twitter, I think last month. Now, this is not my only trade, and this is not the only thing in my trading account. But last month, I had a massive drawdown, and this is finally kicking me out of that drawdown, which has been great. So let me just be transparent about it. You have to, like Ivan is saying, sometimes you punch into a trade, you get stopped out. You punch into a trade, you get stopped out. And it's incredibly frustrating, and it takes a lot of patience. But if you stick to a strategy, as Ivan and I have been preaching on here for a long time, it will pay dividends if you've done your homework, if you've done your back testing, and you have the patience to stay in. So yes, wonderful trade, but again, full transparency, it came with a drawdown before this, hardships. So Ivan, to yourself as well, you know, I know we've worked through yen trades, we've worked through S&P trades. You've got to sometimes push through the mud in order to find the right trades. So yeah, thank you for that.
Are you tired of my yen trades now? Am I like the yen girl? You're like,
you're the yen god.
Normal sometimes.
Let's just change your name on here to yen god, because you've got all of them long except for dollar yen. So that's wonderful. So Ivan, also I want to ask. So probably a lot of people in the audience are maybe feeling a little bit of FOMO on a day like this. And I want to say, I've been there. Ivan, you and I have been there many times, right? There's many times where the market just moves and you're like, I did not participate. And I may have even been on the wrong side of a trade like this. So let me just say, we have been there many times. And if you're feeling discouraged today, then let's go to Ivan. He's the trading coach. What do you do in that situation? If you're feeling FOMO, if you're feeling frustrated today, what do you do?
I've felt a lot of FOMO this week. I have to say I have felt a lot of FOMO on USDN. And what do you do? Also, you go back. What works? And okay, so if you like, I have lost a lot of entries on USDN, and now it's coming down like the elevator, with a truck on it. But like all these entries that I should have had, I know I should have done it, but it wasn't according to my plan. It wasn't according to what I wanted. So I need to really process in, or really think that it wasn't supposed to be that way. If I was supposed to have an entry, I would have gotten it, but it didn't come back to my price. And when it doesn't, then it's not a market I should be a part of. And if I didn't take profit, if I bought at the bottom and didn't take profit now, I will feel a lot worse. So it's the alternative. Yes, you can feel FOMO, but what's the alternative? Losing, altering your strategy. But why are you altering your strategy? You're supposed to find optimum in your main strategy. So so it's like telling yourself, don't change, keep going.
Yeah, very well put. And I think it's so important not to give into FOMO, because imagine, Ivan, for the people who chased dollar yen, they probably feel very frustrated. And another thing I wanted to point out is that on the gold side of things, many traders had questions about gold as we prepped into this. You may be starting to see a little bit of a inverted head and shoulders. If you are saying, okay, wow, gold looks like it may have found a short-term bottom, here's something to consider. Gold has been in a nice little downtrend here on the 4-hour chart, but on the daily chart, as we pointed out, it met up with a huge level of support. If you look left, this area held just perfectly, and now it seems like we're starting to break out on the 4-hour chart. For those of you guys who are watching gold, my opinion would be, breakouts, retests could be interesting, or breakouts, retests up here could be interesting, or breakout retests here. Point is, I think we've started to see a round out in momentum. The downward selling seems to be, at least for now, subsided. And now the question will be, can we see kind of a series of higher lows, higher highs that kind of forms in the market? But gold may have found a bottom here, and it would make sense if you think fundamentally that perhaps the inflation story is done, to see a little bit of a relief in gold, as that dollar could continue to be bearish and gold moves higher. Now, I also want to say, I'm going to give Ivan the floor here in a minute. Last thing I want to talk about before I give him his space is look at this dollar index, guys. Dollar index daily chart, lower high. Watch how this candle closes, because if you get something closing underneath the lows here, very impressive sell pressure there. So watch the dollar for, what seems to be, again, very clearly a change from this dominant upward trend. We've now gone sideways. I think you're really starting to see that downward trend that we've been looking for starting to truly form. So dollar bearishness still intact for me. S&P staying long, gold looking for bullish setups potentially. And if you're someone trading like euro dollar, pound dollar, you're probably having a good day as well on the long side. Yeah, look at that beautiful crisp breakout on the euro USD. Price pulled back to support, jumped here. Again, our target still kind of intact with that 1.091 area that could be headed next. Before I give Ivan just a little chance to run the show for a few minutes, guys, let me just remind you, remember, Ivan, myself, and Frank, we're sharing all of our trades inside of the Discord community. Let me just show you what that looks like. So when I take a trade, when Ivan takes a trade, you'll get notifications directly to your phone or to your desktop. Ivan also does coaching webinars where he goes over things with our members, so you can ask questions and go through your trade performance, all sorts of stuff. He does wonderful things for the community there. And again, anytime we take trades, you get notified in the form of a signal with full breakdowns and explanations, charts, and all that good stuff. Ivan did like a full breakdown on his yen stuff. You could see very in-depth. The purpose is not a copy service. It is a in-depth educational insights community. And I just want to say before I head out, this is currently 45% off if you message us using the chat link in the YouTube live chat right now. Click that link, get 45% off. If you direct message one of our team members, we'll get you hooked up with a membership for the best price of the entire year. And you can get the EDGEFINDER 45% off as well. So message us. It's our Black Friday deal. And with that said, Ivan, we're going to run a quick break to segue into your little section of the show where you can take over. Thanks for doing that. And I'll be watching close. So you take care of the stream, okay? See ya. Frank, are you really trading right now? We are literally traveling through space.
Yeah, thanks to 8cap, I can trade at any time and anywhere, even in space. And I get a free EDGEFINDER with it too.
That's pretty cool, but honestly, there are so many other brokers that I think are better.
That's it.
I'm ejecting you.
All right, Frank, let me back in. Come on. I'll sign up for 8cap, I promise.
Don't get lost in space. Trade with 8cap. If you'd like more information about how you can get a free EDGEFINDER, click the link that's in the chat or description to speak with one of our representatives and sign up with 8cap. There's some great free perks available. Check it out down below.
Frank!
And I think we're gonna start with this chart. I think this is the easiest chart. To cure the FOMO. Because if anyone knows anything about technical analysis, we can always categorize these as a range, and then this is the pullback to sell, and then now we might have a new lower low, and that is actually where my entry comes in, somewhere as a pullback here, and then we're going to continue, because if this is going to be the peak, which many traders seem to have positioned themselves into, because the move is, I would say, it's quite massive. And if you look at dollar yen, I don't know. I just thought about it in the beginning here while Nick was talking. Is this might also be, if this happens, where you have a downwind of the carry trade, where market is now going to price in lower interest rates, maybe a first cut in May, this one is going to start falling again. In as much as dollar is going to fall. So, to cure the FOMO, to cure everything that is bad about the world, what do we do? So who says it was boring? Because somebody tag them and say what is boring. This is supposed to be boring. It's just me that I just have this coffee thing that, I get my energy from, but my trading is boring. What do I do? Reversals of trend. What is this? Reversals of trend. What do you do then? Continuation of trend. What do you then sell? The first and the second peak, and then you're good to go for the rest of the month. So, what I guys want you guys to do now? Okay, let's settle the dust here a bit. Okay, CPI is lower than expected. CPI is 3.2. What does it mean? Yen pairs went higher, dollar yen went lower. Euro is currently flying up to 108. It's probably going up to 109, 110. There is one specific thing I want you guys to focus on and try to find. If you guys can subscribe to Bank, this probably should be in the EDGEFINDER, by the way, but we talked about it. But if you can find ING, if you can find those who are dollar bearish with this Westpac and ING, or other banks that talks about the bearishness of dollar, those are the ones you're supposed to be following for commentary, and then as well as. So what you're supposed to be doing now is, where's the pullback going to be? Okay, so we hit the 108, we have gone down to 107.88. Is that good enough? Are you going to are you going to buy your dollar in discount? Probably not. You are way too late. Okay, so where do you expect price to come down next? If it comes more than 50%, that's a dead move. You can't expect that, right? Now, what you're supposed to be doing then, you're supposed to go back to what is, well, somebody said, well, don't, I like that Nick says, keep your strategy. For crying out loud, mate, you're supposed to stick to your strategy, because that is proven through many trades that it's the best way to attack the market. Because why, if you don't have a strategy, then why are you trading? So, I'm wrong about gold. Plenty of it. I have not been right. I've said it's going to go lower. Okay, cool. I'll take it. So, couple of things, a couple of ways. First of all, do you have bullish momentum today? You don't have a 55-21 EMA crossover. You need to have I want at least the previous high to be hit, then whatever the pullback is. And it's in the pullback the making of the cake is. Because if you look at gold reversals, okay, except for this one over here probably, but when you look at gold reversals, okay, what generally tends to happen? Where is it? New higher high, and then this massive drop. Everyone's like, stop, get out. It wasn't bullish after all. What's going on? And then it goes higher. And then the same price, and then market comes back down to give or take around the same area again. And everyone's like, stop loss. But that's where you are supposed to be tactical. I'm not saying you're supposed to buy every bearish trend that is out there, but be pragmatic in your approach. Be objective. What do we have? We have a bullish momentum. Okay, but we have a range. Okay, doesn't matter. Okay, where do you want the price to be coming back down to? Mostly like that. Okay, and then you want it to go higher, then it goes higher, and then you want to come back down again. But it didn't do that before it turned into bearish. Okay, then you didn't get that entry. Same thing for me and USDN. So at the moment you have pullbacks on gold. It's very exciting to be like, oh, I want to buy it now. But if you wait until tomorrow, you're probably going to get a better price. John SF says, a quick question, if you have time, how do you know what resistance support level to enter ahead of time? Oh, my friend, you asked a golden question about my experience. And my experience tells me that it should hit certain levels that is like there's like a secrecy between us traders. We tell each other which level we want to get in and out of, and then we know in advance which level to get in and out of. So I'm sorry, people. It's it's a secret. Sorry. No, it's some secret. No, it's just choosing. I choose. This is resistance. This is local resistance, short-term resistance, because I believe anything in between here is just horrible trading or slaughterhouse, or that's where people lose money. So I want to get in at the beginning of a trend, either as a buyer or a seller. So that means I need to have. I would also then color this one down here. Down here, sorry, as to be a buy zone. So I would say buy zone is down there, sell zone is up there, and that's everything. I choose to not focusing on a lot of support and resistance because it's just noise in between. So I focus on the extremes more than trying to find, fit, or move any. It says, I believe it's a joke. Of course. What do you think, Nick chose me? How do you manage hyper impact news when you have a swing positions running for days? Oh, dude. That's the best part. Let me tell you. Okay. If you know you're gonna get 1,000 pips profit if you can just keep your fingers away from this mouse. If this mouse, if you can keep yourself away from this one, then sure. It comes down to how much self-control do you have. Secondly, it comes down to how many times have you done that specific setup. And then you can go through what Ivan posted yesterday. Let's see if I can find that. I posted yesterday. I posted dream trades and trade setups that I develop. Okay, so I have a certain setup. I have a certain market I want to enter, and I avoid everything else. Now, as a trader, I think that news is great. I love news, not because I can trade it or lose money in it, because I believe that it's going to send my trades in the right direction. And for some reason, that happened today on New Zealand yen, on pound yen, on euro yen, on CAD yen, on Swiss yen, on Aussie yen. Most of the pairs went in the direction of what I wanted it to do. Okay, so I have a belief, I have self-control, I have a hypothesis, and I have expectation, and I have some sort of experience doing the same thing over and over and over again. Because CPI happens every month. So you can get experience of 10 in a year, you get 10 CPIs, and then you analyze those CPIs. What generally tends to happen before the CPI? If dollar is rising going into CPI and we have a bearish surprise, market smacks in other direction. Oh, we were wrong. Okay. Then what generally tends to happen is that it rises, or it falls, sorry. Then you're going to have the pullback. And now you need to go in and look at CPI around July, August, September last year, when CPI peaked around $7 on dollar. I think it was 7 around there. When it peaked last year, what did market do? Market in the first place does not take that into account. It still continues the bullishness because we're going to still have increase of interest rate. We don't really believe this one. But the second data point, market is like, well, we're probably going to add this position for some disappointment, and then it comes On the third one, then we have reversed the entire market. The market is like, we're going to bearish. And that's when you get those super moves. So it comes down to expectation for the market. It comes down to what do you prepare for, and then what you get. And then secondly, or thirdly, or fifthly, or whatever that is, the aftermath. Nick said, he's going to look into what a dollar is going to do in the next few hours. Because the point is that this move isn't going to end now. Because what about tomorrow? Because now this is the underground pushing of market. This is going to now pricing a lower interest rate. This is now going to color the Fed. Fed was actually a bit right, even though they said they see a little demand, but the demand wasn't great enough for the entire country. Okay, cool. Still 3.1 though. Still above target. But what it also tells you something. It tells you a lot of volatility. So that's going to be exciting for exciting traders of what is CPI is going to be in December. A month where we spend a lot of money. So we'll see.
Hey, Ivan, how you doing?
I'm doing great, James. And you?
I'm doing pretty good. Hey, I'm hopping in here because I want to thank you really quickly for helping out with the stream today. But we've got a really long stream that we're gonna do today. We're trying to do an extended CPI stream, and we have some other guests that are coming on. So I'm gonna bring in Tom really quickly while we let you go, Ivan, and we can say hello to Tom here as well. Hey, Tom,
Hi,
how you doing?
Yeah, good, thanks. Hi, Ivan. How are you?
Hi, Tom. How are you? Fine.
Yeah, good. I hope you still got your shirts on your back after this move.
I think we're going to change it.
Yeah, might change another item of clothing after that move.
All right. Well, while we get Tom started here, Ivan, again, thank you for coming on as always. We're definitely going to be streaming for a good bit today. So if you want to check back in later with either Nick or Chandler, maybe if you want to hop back on later, we can see if we can arrange that. But yeah, thank you again, Ivan, for coming on as always. And Tom, if you want to go ahead and share your screen here, then we can go ahead and get started.
Yeah, sure. No
Thank
problem.
you
I will.
Yep. See you, Ivan. Have a good day.
Cheers, guys. So yeah, guys, as you know, all the CPI data was worse than expected. Yeah, you already know this much, guys. But just look at the reaction we're getting on the, not just US dollar pairs, guys. I mean, this is US dollar CAD. We were actually selling this pair. We'll take you through this trade shortly, guys. But, things like Euro, New Zealand dollar, because we was also looking at this. It was at highs. I mean, look at the H1. That is just crashing down. Aussie dollar, Canadian dollar was another trade we was interested in this morning and buying this. I mean, look at these moves, guys. It's not just, US dollar pairs that are affected, guys. It is, most pairs as we speak. We're also interested in Aussie dollar, Japanese yen. Same with Ivan. I mean, and look at this. And we're going to look at all of these trades and why we were interested in them, okay? And what I like about this, guys, it's basically technical trades, which is what I do, guys. Those of you that know me, and I come on the channel a lot. It's technical analysis is what I do, but we've basically got technical analysis meeting fundamental data, and this has meant such a big move. And if we start with the dollar index, if we start with the day chart, I find myself talking about the dollar index every 30 seconds. But as soon as we broke out of this range, okay, we was in this range, yeah, and it's retraced. Once it gets into here, we know this is a good level for potential selling, okay, of the dollar. But we was thinking, what will be the catalyst? So structurally, technically, it was a beautiful level. But this news has just given it, the firework up the bum that it needed to just go crazy, guys. And that's what we're seeing, technicals and fundamentals combined. You can see how powerful that is. But before today even started, guys, a trade that we was looking at was US dollar, Canadian dollar. Yeah. And why was we looking at this? Let me just sort of take you through the technical analysis that I do, guys, and how I look at trading and things that I look for in order to take a setup. And once I've shown you this, guys, I'll also happy to take a couple of questions. So if any of you guys have got any questions, then you can fire them over to me and I'll try and answer a few as well. So technically, this was such a beautiful trade anyway. So if we start with the weekly chart, yeah, as you can see, guys, US dollar, Canadian dollar was at a key resistance level. Yeah, you do not need to be Warren Buffett to see that that is at a key resistance level. Okay. And then if we zoom in, guys, we have had a humongously bearish weekly candle form at that level. Yeah, I mean, even if you just sold this candle, that would make sense. Okay, but we gather more information to make informed trades. So, resistance level, huge bearish weekly candle. So this is telling us we can look for sells. And then if we drop down to the day chart, guys, we have a beautiful technical setup. So as you can see, this blue line here is acting as a channel. Yeah, you can see price keeps reacting at this level and pushing higher. But not only do we get a break out of that channel, that trend line, we also break this last low in here. So we've had a break out of a channel and we're getting lower lows, which is the definition of a downtrend. Okay. And if that wasn't enough, we get a beautiful retrace. Yeah. If I zoom in now, you can see we get a beautiful retrace. And I love a retrace. A retrace just means that I am getting in at the best price possible. Yeah. And then we see this candle here. Yeah. And if this candle here, in a downtrend doesn't tell us to start shorting it, then what does? Yeah. That's clearly telling us to short US dollar, Canadian dollar. We're in a downtrend, tick. The weekly chart told us we could sell this resistance, tick. We've got a nice retracement, tick. We've got a bearish candle at a resistance level, tick. What is not to like? Okay, so the idea was we've been trading since we saw this candle. And as you can see, guys, even the candle from yesterday was still telling us to sell it. This big wick here is just a rejection of price. That tells me sellers are still in control of this market. Okay. And then obviously today, CPI figures, the market has just come crashing down. But we was already looking for sells with this pair. If we drop down to the H4 now, you can see we had this gray zone here highlighted as well. Yeah. So price, you can see, has reacted many times at this level. And that's all we're looking for. If you want to plot a support and resistance level, guys, just look where price has touched it. The more touches it gets, the more, the more obvious and reliable the support or resistance level is. And yeah, we was actually in a trade since yesterday. So if we go to the H1, guys, we was actually shorting from in here. Yeah, we were selling from here. We had our stop above here, and our first target was down to here, which we've literally just hit. But this is still going. But at my target, guys, which is this blue line, I take 80% of the trade. So I secure some profit, and then I'm going to let 20% run and potentially can even add to this trade later on. So yeah, there you go, guys. That is US dollar Canadian trade. I also liked Aussie dollar Canadian trade this morning as well. So if you look at the Aussie dollar Canadian dollar, if we just look at the day chart, guys, yeah, again, what I show you is not rocket science, guys. Keep your trading simple. Yeah, so let me just show you a few things why I liked Aussie dollar Canadian dollar this morning as well. So if we start with the weekly chart, you can clearly see, yeah, we have had a structure break on the weekly chart. We broke these highs and these highs here. All right, so now we're in a weekly uptrend. Okay, if we go back to the day chart now, and what we got, guys, was we're in an uptrend. Yeah, we got a nice retracement. We had a bullish candle this morning. Again, it was a technical play, but news has made this rally as well. And we had a bullish daily candle at an area of support. Also, the moving average 20, guys, which I use as dynamic support in this case. So we had like a double whammy support here. And that's a technical term, double whammy. It's in all the economic books. And then, yeah, just look at price. It's just shooting up. Our target will be up here. If not, back up to this resistance level here, guys. So just a couple of trades that we were looking at this morning as part of my channel, guys. My channel, Simply Forex. If you don't know, come check it out. So yeah, there you go, guys. There's a few things we are looking at. Let's take a few of your questions now, guys. Has anyone got any questions? Please fire your questions away. Okay, so GSKAA would like to look at Euro Aussie dollar. Let's do that. Okay, and this is flying down as well, guys, all right? So let's do a top-down approach. Let's do it together as one big happy family. All right, so if we start with the weekly chart, all right, let me just readjust my weekly levels here, guys. All right, let's do it like this. Okay, so you can clearly see that this level here has proven to be a good level for Euro Aussie dollar. On the weekly chart, yeah, what is the trend? And to be honest with you guys, it's not 100% clear, because let me show you this, guys. If I went back in time, okay, yeah, and I went back to this candle here. At this point, trend is easy to identify. Yeah, we're in an uptrend. We're getting higher lows, yeah, and we got higher highs from over here. Okay, now if I move price along a little bit, okay, and we just talk amongst yourselves why this slowly plays out, and if I play that along a bit now, okay, and we're at this level, all of a sudden trend isn't obvious, yeah, because we were getting higher highs, higher lows, but now is this point a new lower high? Yeah, it puts a bit of doubt in our mind as to the trend of this currency pair. And now, if we carry on playing it along, well, if we just come out of this and play it back to where we are, what would you say this is? Is this a downtrend or still in an uptrend? Or will we find ourselves in a range between here and here? I would say a range is more likely. Okay, so that's where we are on the weekly chart, but we are at a very important resistance level. If we go to the day chart now, yeah, and you can see here, guys. So again, if you need to identify trend and structure of the market, if you cannot identify or it's not clear, do not trade it. All right. So at this point, we are clearly in an uptrend, but then it becomes a little bit not clear. And we're actually in a downtrend at this point. And then price has shot back up to this level. Okay. So, at this point, we're sort of technically in an uptrend. Okay. But like I say, guys, we could say we're ranging on the weekly chart, perhaps ranging between here and here. So if I had to trade Euro Aussie dollar, I would look for sells from this level. And as you can see, guys, this candle hasn't finished yet. Okay. But even before this candle, look at this wick. Look at this candle. Sellers were coming into the market. Okay, that was clear. Yeah. Another thing, guys, read candlesticks. Yeah. If you look at this candlestick, yeah, nothing but buyers. this candlestick, nothing but buyers. This candlestick, okay, buyers are slowing down. Some sellers are coming into the market. This candlestick, sellers are starting to take control. Then we got this candlestick. If it stays like this, sellers are in control, okay? And we can look to sell this pair, okay? So yeah, if we get a bearish candle, I think this could be a nice sell on Euro Aussie dollar. But what I want to see, guys, once price gets to these, you know, key daily, weekly levels, I need to see a breakdown in price, okay? This is imperative, yeah? There's no bigger indicator or piece of confluence for me than a breakdown in structure. And let me show you what I mean, guys. All right, so if we go down to the H4 chart now, yeah, what I would like to see is a break of structure. So if we just follow H4 structure, you can clearly see this is in an uptrend, okay? But when we're in an uptrend and price doesn't make higher highs, yeah, like this, and we get a bearish reaction, this is a big red flag that trend is over. And, you know, trend is slowing down or trend is over, and we could potentially have a structure break. And that's what I'm looking for, guys, to trade. So on the H4, all we're looking for is a break of these last lows. Yeah, if I see a nice bearish candle break these lows, something like this, then I know we have a good sell opportunity on our hands. Okay, and we can potentially take price down to here. I would probably wait for a bit of a retrace into here somewhere. Yeah, maybe the moving average 20 comes round, and then I will start selling. Okay, so that's what we're waiting for. H4 breakdown on Euro Aussie dollar, which we haven't quite got yet. Yeah, this candle hasn't finished forming. So, you know, if you wait for the H4 structure break, obviously, guys, this is going to take a while. Yeah, so we can be more aggressive at these levels, but the trade idea doesn't change. So we have identified this gray zone, yeah, as a key level on the day chart. Okay, we can wait for a H4 break. Okay, we can wait for that. If you want to be more aggressive, we can do a H1 structure break. Okay, and you know, we could, if we just follow H1 structure, which isn't very clear to be honest, but something like this, if we start getting breaks of these lows here, which we clearly have got already, you know, we can potentially start selling this trade, you know, entering sells for this pair as well. So that's basically how I trade, guys, and what I look for. So yeah, market structure, support and resistance levels, structure breaks, and candlesticks. Yeah, the candlesticks give you so much information, guys. So yeah, Euro Aussie dollar, like I say, if we start breaking this level here, get a break, retest, yeah, we can start selling this. Put your stop above here, you know, look to take price lower. So yeah, that's Euro Aussie dollar. Okay, let's take another question, guys. Okay, let's have a look at gold. We've got a couple of people interested in gold, so let's take a look at that, guys. Excuse me. So let's start with the weekly chart, guys. I suggest you do the same. Yeah, do a top-down approach, get as much information as you can, and then you can make a more informed decision. So if we just look at the weekly chart, yeah, everyone is just waiting when to buy gold. Yeah, it's not a big secret. I would say 90% of you are waiting for the opportunity to buy gold. And it makes sense, yeah? We were in a weekly downtrend, come, you know, crazy bullish movement up, yeah? And now all we're waiting for is a retrace, and then we want to take price back up to these highs, okay? That's the trade idea for most people, I would suggest listening in now. But, you know, the million-dollar question is where and how can we start entering this? Okay, and let's take a look. Let's do exactly that. So first of all, yeah, the moving average 20. Yeah, the weekly chart is at the moving average 20, which is, you know, usually a pretty good level to act as, you know, dynamic support or resistance. Yeah, I mean, just look at it here, guys. Yeah, yeah, support, then it broke, become resistance, yeah, broke, could it become support? Yeah, it's a very good piece of dynamic support, the moving average 20. Okay, so we want to buy this and we're at an interesting level, but this candle isn't exactly filling us with confidence to buy. But let's take a look at the day chart. Yeah, if we look at the day chart, price has also been breaking down. Yeah, it has. We are in a daily downtrend. Okay, so price was moving up. Again, as I mentioned earlier, if price doesn't create a higher high and we get a bearish reaction, chances are the trend is at least slowing down. If not, it will change. And then sure enough, guys, bang, price has changed. Sorry, structure, trend has changed as soon as we broke this low. Okay, so we are in a downtrend. So if we think about gold at the moment, we've got, you know, we've got a weekly chart that's telling us we just want to buy it, although we have a very bearish weekly candle, but we have a day chart that is in a downtrend. So with gold at the moment, we're getting quite conflicting views. So what do I need to see? I need to see a break in structure. Yeah. So if we just followed structure along, yeah, let's say gold comes back up to this last low and then it has a bit of a bearish move down to here. Yeah, this is quite possible. Yeah, we don't know. All right. But if I'm going to start buying gold, I need to see the daily structure change. Okay. So yeah, we're seeing this. If I start seeing something like this, maybe it hits this level and it comes down, it reacts, it doesn't know what to do with itself, then it breaks. Yeah. Then I'm all over gold. I will buy gold, but I don't want to buy gold on a daily downtrend. That just doesn't compute with me. And also this weekly candle. Yeah. Do you really want to start buying this weekly candle? Yeah, we shall see. So if I get a lot of conflicting information like what I'm suggesting to you guys, I will just stay out of this pair, this commodity, indice, whatever it is. If I'm getting too much conflicting information, do not take the trade. Yeah, if I said to you, you know, this pair, and everyone said, Tom, I want to buy it, I want to buy it, everyone wants to buy it. Yeah, then I'm interested. If I said to you guys gold, some of you might say sell it, some of you might say buy it. It's not clear as to the direction as yet. So for those reasons, stay out. And only trade pairs or indices once they give you a clear indication that buyers are all together, you know, everything's telling you to buy this pair, then you buy it. But you can see with gold, it isn't doing that. Yeah, it's given me conflict. I will stay away from gold for that reason. Right, what else are we looking at? Okay, let's have a look at pound, UK, euro pound. Let's take a look at euro pound, guys. And guys, yeah, if you like my analysis, subscribe to my channel. My channel is Simply Forex. Go check it out. Right, pound Aussie dollar. We were seeing real pound strength today. Okay, so pound Aussie dollar, but it's coming to highs, all right? So again, let's have a look at the weekly chart first of all. All right, so let's draw this across a little bit further. Okay. So what is the weekly chart telling you first of all? So it's similar to Euro New Zealand at this point here. Okay, let's go back in time. Yeah. At this point here, we're looking for buys. Yeah. You can see price, we're getting higher highs, higher lows. Potentially we can start move. Actually, let me draw that again. I would include this. Okay. So we're in an uptrend. We're getting higher highs. The lows haven't broken, and we're getting a nice bullish reaction at these lows. If you looked at that chart, you would be like, Tom, let's buy this chart. And I would be, yes, I agree with you. Okay. But you need to be flexible. You cannot fixate on a direction, because if we just play it along a short time, yeah, well, let's just come out of this. Now, this is current price. Okay. It's not clear. Yeah. Is this a lower high? Yeah. We don't know, is the truth of the matter, really. But it is an area of importance. If we start seeing this, weekly pressure and this buying pressure at this level as well, yeah, then chances are we will form a range. Yeah, because you're going to have sellers, buyers. Okay. So this is where we are currently. So really, we could look for sells at this level. That would make sense. If we go to the day chart now, it doesn't make sense as yet. Again, if we go back, because I'm just going back and ignoring today's candle, because when we come in and do our analysis in the morning, we do not have today's candle. Yeah. And if you looked at this trade today, you would say we could potentially buy this up to here. Yeah, you would, because we were in a downtrend. But then price has come back up and broken this last high with this candle here. So now we're in an uptrend and we've got a bit of room to move into. So at the start of the day, you would be looking for buys up to this level. Okay. But again, what a difference a day makes. Now this news has come out and potentially we have this big rejection wick at these highs here. Yeah. Then, pound Aussie dollar is no longer looking like a buy trade. This is looking more like a sell trade, if anything. Okay. So we need to be careful here. Let's drop down to the H4 and get a little bit more information. Okay. So for our initial trade idea, so let's say we got up in the morning and we were looking for buys. On the H4, this is a nice candle to buy. Yeah, it's broken all of this kind of box of indecision. Yeah, this is a box of consolidation, guys. I love these. I love these little boxes more than I love Gal Gadot, aka Wonder Woman. Because you have to understand what a box of consolidation means. I call it a box of consolidation. Yeah, so, or a box of uncertainty. You basically have in here, you have got buyers and sellers just fighting it out. And that's like 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, lots of hours. Buyers and sellers are just fighting it. And then when we get a break of one of these boxes, like with this candle here, that is a beautiful entry. Yeah, we are still with H4 trend. We've had a breakout of the box of consolidation. And look how price just, storms up. What's happened now is just news. Okay. So this is what we need to be aware of, guys. This has become news. All right. We would have potentially still looked to have taken our trade a little bit higher. But having said that, this 9,300 psychological level would have been a nice level. So where are we now? We're starting to get this bearish reaction. Okay, so sells for me are looking less appealing. Buys for me are looking less appealing. But sells are not on the cards yet either. Yeah, if we got, this box and then we got a breakdown, potentially a break of these lows in here, then okay, we can start considering pound Aussie dollar for sells. Okay, but if this H4 is still holding this last low, then potentially it could come back up to here. We shall see. If we drop down to the H1 now, I mean, we have had a structure break on the H1. Yeah, you can clearly see this. And this is all, you know, what I'm showing you guys, like I said, isn't rocket science. Keep your trading simple. You're looking for important levels, and then you're looking for price to break down. If price breaks down or builds up, it's telling you that price is ready to, you know, to push up or push down. Yeah, listen to the market, trade what it is telling you. And as you can see, guys, H1 again didn't make higher highs. Red flag. Yeah, price comes shooting down, breaking these lows, and this is where we are so far. So if you think about this in terms of structure, a nice trade, if you were looking to sell this, would be back up to here. Yeah, and we look to take this lower. Okay. So yeah, that is pound Aussie dollar. Right, what else are we? Sounds just like the Jewish guy from Peaky Blinders. That is Tom Hardy, and my name is also Tom. We are not the same person, but I'm going to take that as a, I don't know, compliment or an insult, but yeah, I do sound like him. What else are we looking at? Okay, yeah, let's look at Euro US dollar. And so Christoph is saying, let's go to Euro US dollar, and you give us your view on what's next after this big CPI move. Okay, let's do that. Let's take a look at one of these US dollar moves. So this straight away, when you get a move like this, you know, immediately price action becomes difficult to trade. Yeah, goes without saying. All right. But what we'll do, we'll look at the day chart. Okay. And what we really need to do is, you know, if price stays like this, we want to buy it. Yeah. It depends how this daily candle finishes, first of all. Okay. So if this daily candle finishes like this, then we want to continue to buy Euro US dollar. Yeah. Goes without saying. But we would need a retrace. Okay. If we get a big wick, yeah, like this, and we see a candle like this, then all of a sudden, this idea, yeah, a wick like this, all of a sudden, a buy trade is less appealing. So first and foremost, Christoph, we need to wait and understand how the daily chart finishes, because the daily chart is king for me. The daily chart tells me what to do. But if we get, you know, and by all accounts, it looks like we're gonna, you know, stay with a bullish candle. All right. So let's say we get a candle like this. Then you need to pinpoint your next area of potential of a target. And your next target is going to be a resistance or a support or resistance level. Yeah. Goes without saying. So this,
hey Tom, sorry to
no problem.
Sorry to cut you off there for a second. That was some really great analysis that you were giving there. We appreciate you coming on the show today, but like I said a little earlier, we're trying to do a long one today, so we have some more guests that are about to hop on with us. So I want to thank you for hopping on with us today, and we will see you again very soon.
Yeah, cheers, James. Have a good one. See you later, guys.
Yep, bye, Tom. All right, guys, so we're going to keep this thing moving right along. We have Kenzo coming up next, super hot Forex. So let's go ahead and bring Kenzo in here. Hey, Kenzo, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks, and you, man?
I'm doing good. That was a pretty wild CPI move that we had there. I know that you're a big fundamental guy, so I'm sure that you have lots of thoughts on CPI here. So I'm not going to hold you up too long. Nick may come in and chat with you. I know that he loves chatting fundamentals with you. So he may hop in here for a little bit. He was taking a little break because he started the stream. But I'll go ahead and turn it over to you. And the floor is yours for the next 30 minutes or so. We appreciate you being on.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right. Talk to you later.
Okay, bye. Okay, good day, or good afternoon. On my side, it's actually around 4:30. So, and the market is just opened on my side. So, what's really happening on the market? The market has been moving very nice, guys, because it's actually continuing with the structures that we were just waiting for. So let me just show you, or maybe you already saw the CPI, but when I check the numbers, everything is just very good. Inflation is going down, which means the prices are going down. At the same time, if the prices are going down, it means the dollar will lose strength a little bit. And what we see here is we see the market doing that. The market is losing a nice momentum there, and we actually going to continue doing that. If you are not actually buying or selling DXY now, you can't just jump on the market currently. But I don't really trade DXY. I just use that it as an indicator to help me to see if maybe the dollar is stronger or not. So what I see here is the market was pushing up. We had a breakout. So since the market came back to retest there, and it seems like now the market just wants to continue with that down trend. So let's just check other pairs, the ones that I like to trade. So the ones that I traded actually since yesterday and also today, it was GBP USD. So I'll just go on a line actually. I will use a line. Sorry, I will just continue with the pairs that I will be trading, or the ones that I actually traded. So on GBP USD, we've been waiting for this breakout to push to the upside. You can see that we had a very nice downtrend coming up there. Then the market broke out. So what I see here is we see a nice retest. And I like this structure because it's actually the start of a trend. So which means since the market was going down, now we might see a continuation of this trend going further. And that is going to be a very good thing. So I'm still actually on these trades. I closed some few positions here. So yeah, this is actually the start of a trend. I'm expecting to see the market pushing to the upside. So you can also let me know which pairs do you want me to check, but I will also be continuing with other pairs that I will be trading. So GBP is pushing up. Why? The dollar lost some momentum, and that is actually good because that will help us to understand what will happen during interest rates or FOMC meetings. So which means we see some good stuff, and we might actually see a very nice interest rates. They might not actually increase anything. So Euro USD, we also had this trade very nice. The market has been pushing to the upside. What I like about this is the market is just continuing with the trend that we saw before. Why? Because the market was on a downtrend previously. We saw the market breaking out of that. So obviously we were waiting for the market to continue with the trend, and the market is actually doing that, and that's what we want. Unfortunately, here on Euro USD, I'm already out. But if you missed this, maybe obviously you can't jump on the market now because the market can still reverse. So this area, we can zoom a little bit. Where we are now, we can see that the market just broke our previous structure that it can be a potential resistance. So the market might come around that area to retest and continue like that. Or since these are good news, the market can actually still push the upside for quite some time. Maybe we'll see some sort of reversals, maybe on Mondays. So from there, let me go on NASDAQ. On NASDAQ, then we can go on AUD USD. So on Nasdaq, we also had a very nice trade today. The market broke out of that resistance. You can see we had a very long resistance, and the market also created something there. So I was just waiting for the market to break out. Then we took that, and the market is still actually pushing to the upside, which is a very nice structure. So I see some good things happening in the market. I see the dollar losing some momentum, maybe until Friday. Today's still Tuesday, so we still have enough days actually this week. So we will see how the market is going to react. I think tomorrow we're going to have retail sales. Let's hope that even the retail sales are going down, that is just going to make the dollar to lose some of the momentum. So someone said check AUD. I think it's AUD or USDT. Okay. So on Nasdaq, everything is still on an uptrend, which is good. We were waiting for this breakout for quite some time, and the market was just playing above this resistance. So now everything is confirmed. We are playing. We are actually on a very nice uptrend. So USDT, USDT, USDT. What's really happening on USDT? The market gave us a very nice structure. Quite straightforward. You can see the market actually used to respect this resistance there, and we drawn that very nice. We were actually selling for quite some time. Guess what? Actually, today the market was very closer to breaking out. But if you check, the market was just playing around this resistance. So we're not just going to jump on that. But since we had a clear breakout, we had a very nice pending order, buy pending order there. It was triggered, and this is 4 hours time frame. Actually, it's very nice profit there. So I'm still expecting to see the market continuing pushing to the upside. But don't just expect the market to fly the whole day. One way or another, the market will be giving us a sort of reversal. But still, we are on an uptrend. So expect a sort of a reversal before we see another push to the upside. And again, this is the start of the trend. The good thing about this is we are starting a new trend. So this trend is still very fresh. So we might see some aggressive push to the upside. So it might be difficult for someone to catch this move, but you can wait for reversal maybe tomorrow or maybe Thursday. It's possible. But we are actually on the start of this trend, and let's hope that the market will keep up with that, because tomorrow retail sales can disappoint and we might see the market pushing lower. That is also possible. But what I like is most likely the news, they will respect fundamentals. Most likely it will respect the market structures, or you can just call that technical. So I'm expecting the market to continue respecting what we have here, and I think we're going to see a very nice bullish momentum. This is actually a very good thing. So let me check US oil. Oh, okay. Someone says let's check US oil. Okay, let's check that. I've been out of US oil for quite some time, so it means we need to start from scratch. It's fine. If you know how to analyze, I don't think this is going to be any issue. So I'm actually on a 4 hours time frame. What I'm going to do here is you can easily see that. Let me just go on a daily. I think these candlesticks are very, very thin. So if on a daily, they're going to be way much thicker, and maybe we can able to use them much better. So what I see here is we see the market was pushing up previously. Now the market is going down. So this, to me, it seems like a downtrend. So, but the best way is to draw the previous trend so that we can able to catch this new trend that we have currently. So let's see. The market was pushing up. If you still remember, Russia or OPEC countries, they were cutting some production, oil production. So that forced the market on oil to actually push to the upside. So I don't know if maybe they changed that. Now we see that it's pushing lower. If you trade oil, you should know about this. They did cut the production. I think it's a few months ago. I think it's August or September. So they did cut the production. Then we saw the market pushing up because the demand was pushing to the upside. The demand was higher. So what do we see? The market was pushing up very nice. This was aggressive uptrend. We can see how many touches we had: 1, 2, 3, 4, and several ones there. So this was a proper uptrend. So now let's go on the current one. So I think the market broke out here. Let's have something like this. We had something like that. Let's change this color. So we have something like that. So this is actually a sort of a new trend because the market was pushing up. So let me use 4 hours time frame now because we are day traders, so we don't really have to just use bigger time frames non-stop as we need to see or as we need to place trades like daily. So what I see here is I need to read through this properly, and I think the market is just giving us some very nice structure. It seems like the market it's reversing, but let me try a trend. Let me try to have a trend here. I don't really want to force this, but it seems to be making sense. We don't really have to force it. If it doesn't really make sense, we have to take it out. We have to take it out. So I don't think this one, to me, it makes sense. Let's see. No, it does. So let's see this. Let's draw this perfectly. So what we have is we have a new structure which is going down, and we call that structure a downtrend. So let me go on 1 hour time frame and see if maybe I'm not lying, because sometimes you can do this analysis to find out that the market was not respecting that. So on a daily time frame, yes, to me, I think that makes sense. So the market was actually pushing lower, actually on a downtrend. So what I see here is you can see these touches. You can see several touches there, and the market was doing its thing. So now the market seems to be breaking out because now the dollar is losing sort of a momentum. So we don't know if maybe the market will just continue pushing up like that. So the best way here is to wait for a proper breakout or a proper retest before you jump on that US oil. But what I see is maybe this momentum is because of CPI. We don't know. Obviously, maybe it's that. So I think it's better to wait because the market, it was on a very stronger downtrend. And if you know oil, you should check actually some news that concerns oil production. If things are going well on oil, most likely the prices will be going down. So, and if you checked CPI, things were very nice. It means the prices are going down. So maybe this move is just short-lived. So it's better to wait for a retest. If not, maybe the market will end up pushing lower. So I think maybe that is clear. I hope maybe that was clear on US oil. So let's check something else. What pair do you want me to check? Please check AUD. Oh, I did not check AUD USD, ne? I thought I checked that. Sorry, man. I thought I did check that. Okay, yeah, it's flying, yeah? It's flying. It's flying. So let's go on 4 hours time frame so that we can see a bigger picture or a bigger structure. So my structure here is quite straightforward. The market was going down, very nice. It was going down, but now the market, because of CPI, the dollar is weak. Now the market is pushing up. So the question is, can you buy or what? I don't think you should. The structure here is quite different from the other ones. Where we are, we also have a sort of a resistance on top there, and this is 4 hours time frame. If you check here, we have horizontal resistance. You see that? So for you to buy there, if you did not really buy around this level, it means you just have to wait for the market to break that resistance before you buy. Why? Because there is enough chance that the market can respect this resistance. As we saw before, you can see the market respected that area or that zone, and for several times. So there is no any reason why you will be buying here. So the best thing is, let's wait and see if maybe this resistance will be broken. If it's broken, yes, we can actually think about taking any trade above that. You can think about taking any trade above that. That is just an example. I'm not saying do that. I'm just giving you an example, because there is a chance that maybe the market can respect this area and push lower. If we check the news, I think on Wednesday we have unemployment change from Australia, and this is AUD. So if things are positive, or if things are negative, we might see the market pushing lower, respecting this area again. But besides that, just check out for this resistance, as the market already broke out on this diagonal structure. So which means the one which is important is this area. So check that, because we might see a respect or maybe a breakout. Then you will decide what to do. Okay. So please, can you check CAD, CHF as well? Okay. Yeah, you guys, you go in with minor pairs, right? But it's fine. Let's see. Let's check the challenge. I like to, because I don't really check them that much. It's what? AUD, CAD, CHF. CAD, CHF. Okay, let's see. This one is new to me. I don't really trade it, but I see I did some previous analysis before. Okay, that's good. So let me remove that. So from a bigger structure, before I even do anything, it seems like this starting from the top to the bottom. So it seems to be a very nice downtrend before we even do anything. So let's try to draw our resistance lines and see. I also see something here. Seems to be just ranging, but the bigger structure seems to be going down. So yeah, that it's new. So okay, the market moves like that. So the bigger structure here is we are going down. So we're not going to focus on the whole picture because this is daily time frame. So if we focus on that, not everything is going to fit on the screen. So I will just mark from this area, and maybe I will start it from here. Okay, and it makes sense, huh? It makes sense. So let's see. So this is a very nice downtrend, quite straightforward downtrend. And what I see is the market is also giving us some ranging structures inside here, inside this trend. So this is what I see. So where we are on a very strong support. But even if it's a support, remember, we are on a downtrend. So which means even if the market respects that area, even if the market respects this area, but there is enough chance that the market can break this area. Why? Sorry, because the market has been pushing lower for quite some time. So which means bearish momentum is quite strong here. So bearish momentum is like, yeah, very, 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 very way too much than bullish momentum. So which means you just have to look for a breakout and take that sell, or maybe wait for a retest. The market will go maybe towards this resistance. Maybe it will even break just to make a sort of a fake breakout and respect that area before we see a nice push to the lower side. I hope you see that. So yeah, these guys, they trade minor pairs, guys. Okay, another thing is, let's check euro. I hope maybe on this one, on CAD CHF, you understood. So let's check the other one. It's what? Euro CAD. Or let's go New Zealand USD. Let's check New Zealand USD. Obviously, New Zealand USD, it might be pushing to the upside, as things are not going well for US. US this week, I think we're going to see a weak, some weak structures from US. From daily time frame, this looks like a very nice downtrend. If you start it from the top there, you can see that we are going down. So let's try to get something there. Let's see. It's easy to draw this very quick, or to analyze very quick. You might think, oh, it's easy. It's quite easy, but it takes time, guys. It's too much time, too much practice. So what I see here is the market. Yes, the market was going down. We are on a very nice downtrend, aggressively so. So where we are now, I can actually go on a 4 hours time frame, because daily time frame is way too big for us, especially day traders. I'm a day trader. So yeah, I don't really like this structure. I think it's just all over the place. It seems like we have a resistance here. Unfortunately, I don't really check much fundamentals from New Zealand, but it seems to be going like that. If you check on top there, I see something like that also. So, but I think the market is pushing up now because we had CPI. Maybe it will be pushing up towards that resistance. If not, maybe around this area, maybe the market will be respecting that and continuing with that trend. But I don't know much about New Zealand. I don't really follow it that much, but I hope maybe the analysis showed you something. So maybe let's check another one. GBP JPY. Let's check GBP JPY. Yeah, I do check GBP JPY actually, and I think we had a very nice trade. I think since the trade was the trend we had this yesterday. Seems like it took even reached the take profit. Let me remove that. On this one, it's quite straightforward. The market was going down for a few days. The market was on a very nice downtrend. You can see that. So we had a very nice downtrend. The market broke out. Nice retest. Now the market pushed to the upside, created this sort of a ranging structure. We actually took something, if I still remember, we took something there. Now the market is continuing to do that. So from this area, once the market retests from this area, that gives us a clue that, guys, I'm starting to create a very nice uptrend. Here, at least, we have some momentum from CPI that made things worse. So we can easily see that, for those who don't know, GBP JPY also correlate with GBP USD or Euro USD. They all correlate or positively correlating. So they mostly go in the same way, even if we don't really have the dollar, but you will see the movement is quite the same. So with this structure, obviously we're waiting for the market to give us a very nice uptrend, as we are coming from a very nice downtrend. So I'm waiting for the market maybe to reverse again. We can have another trade going further. So I think on this structure, it's quite straightforward. You can jump on the market where we are. We just have to wait for a nice reversal. Unfortunately, that might take time and that might be far. So it means the market can maybe reach this level before going down. So obviously watching that is not going to feel good if you missed the trade. So let me check the other one. Let me check the other one if maybe I need to analyze something. Check EuroCAD as well. Okay. EuroCAD. Okay, let me check EuroCAD. I think we left with 5 minutes. Euro Canada. What's really happening? What's really happening on Euro Canada? Okay. Let's check that. Let's go on now. I think it's fine. The market is actually pushing up. The market is pushing to the upside. Or let's just start with the daily time frame, just to make sure. I think the market previously it was pushing lower. Then we had this breakout. Okay. Not really pushing to the upside the way I thought. So let's go on 4 hours time frame. Or let me firstly zoom. If it's a trend, it's a bit confusing, but to me, it seems like it's a horizontal structure. As you can see, the lowest levels here, they are on the same level. So that doesn't really make it a much of a uptrend. It's just a ranging structure. So now the market is pushing to the upside. So what we're going to do here is I'm just going to use the highest area as our potential resistance. We're going to draw it like that. But I will be going back and see if maybe we will have something like that. But it seems like not. It seems like we don't really have that. So yeah, let's see. Let's see what we have here. So I think the market is moving towards that area as a resistance. So, but the market is not moving on. It's not really trending that much, because if I push this even way too back, you can see that it's where the market used to respect. And on the bottom side, we also have another horizontal structure. So the market might just end up ranging there. So I don't really, it's not really my everyday structures that I like. So I won't actually entertain this type of a move, but we don't really like the same thing. So anything that you want me to check, but if not, I think maybe we can just call it a day, or we can check USD JPY. I think it's also maybe selling. Obviously, I can see someone said made something there. Yeah, we were all on a very highest area, and on a 4 hours time frame, it's obviously on a sell, and it's very good because it's where the market was respecting. It's actually the highest resistance that we have, but the structure, as the dollar was very stronger, the structure was not really nice. The structure was not really proper because it was aggressively buying. So maybe the market will actually give you a very nice sell from there, but it might take time maybe to reach this level. So, or maybe it won't even reach those levels. So let's see. Yeah, but it's a very nice sell. It's a very nice sell. Maybe the market will be reaching these levels. It's also fine. So yeah, I think for today, guys, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I don't know if maybe USDs are. So do you intra-trade or swing trade? I do both, but mostly I'm a day trader. So, but sometimes there are signals which I can swing. You see, there are the ones that there are few trades that I can just hold for 2 days, 3 days, maybe. But I can't call myself a swing trader because I don't really hold trades for weeks. I think swing trade is when you can hold your trades for more than 5 days, or even a week, or even 2 weeks. That to me, it's a proper a swing trader. So actually, I'm not a swing trader. I hope you understand. USD ZAR. USD ZAR on a very nice structure there. Respected that resistance very nice. Going down very nice. You can see that. So the market, I hope if maybe you trade in USD ZAR, I think someone did eat very nice, because I think the structure was very clear. Everything was just straightforward. Just look at this. So it means someone is eating. Someone who is actually following the rules there, they are actually eating. So anyways, yeah, I think maybe for now it's enough. How are you, man?
Hey Kenzo, it's good to have you back on the show. Well, I guess you're on the show and I'm joining you back on the show. Good to see you again. And what a crazy CPI number here today, right? I mean, I saw you've been kind of going through everything today, but what a wild drop in the dollar. CPI came out cooler than expected, that 3.2% handle. What a wild number, huh?
Yeah, but actually it's a great number. It's actually a very good one, because we were all looking for that so that we can see other pairs which were breaking the resistance. We wanted them to continue like that. And now they just completed everything. Everything's just moving in our favor.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. I mean, you have basically, as you mentioned, some of the other currencies might be taking a turn here. Like if you take a look at like euro dollar, what a crisp break to the upside. I mean, that is a beautiful chart right there. You take a look at this. This is a 4-hour chart and just clear, decisive up action for the euro dollar. And again, it's no doubt it's the weakness in the dollar here, as many on the inflation side of things are going to kind of proclaim victory, right? They're going to say, yeah, we've got inflation under control and the Fed is going to be done, and things are a lot rosier going forward. I think, one area of the market that I want to point out to my indices traders out there is take a look at the Russell here today. These are small cap stocks in the United States, of course, highly susceptible to interest rate volatility. And what we can see here today, guys, is the Russell is up 4% on the day. Now, again, yes, the
That's
indices, the
crazy.
S&P up 1.85, you got the Nas up 2%, but the Russell 4% up. This
Oh,
shows a massive move into confidence on the inflation story. Would you agree, Kenzo?
yes. I think this actually conclude when we go on interest rates. Remember last week we had NFP. It was also down.
Yeah.
So CPI is also down. This is actually all the good ticks for FOMC. So I guess maybe retail sales, even if retail sales, I don't think it's high impact, but not really that much. So I think NFP and CPI, they're all going down. That is a good thing. And I think we're going to see some very nice push to the upside.
Yep. Very nice. Well, Kenzo, I'll give you a break here. I know you've been taking over the show, so thank you very much for coming on. And I just want to say to everybody who enjoyed Kenzo's commentary, first of all, big thank you to Kenzo for coming on. But also, if you guys are not already subscribed to his YouTube channel, he's got one that's linked in the chat right now. We just put that in there for you. So if you'd like access to Kenzo's YouTube channel, like I said, definitely worth subscribing to him there. Kenzo, thank you for coming on to the show, man. And we'll see you back next week for more. Well, actually, I guess maybe later this week, right? So we got Friday. So we'll have you back on to keep going through markets later on.
Thank you very much, my brother.
See you, Kenzo. Yep, always good to have Kenzo on, guys. Again, fundamental and technical trader out of South Africa. We always appreciate him coming on to the show, helping us out to traverse these crazy markets. And again, that Russell, guys, what the heck is? You do not see those kind of market moves on a single day in stock indices. It's really, that's probably got to be like one of the best in decades, or at least one of the best, like top tier. That's a ginormous jump on small cap stocks, as again, some of that inflationary pressure is being alleviated today. You're seeing a little bit of concern subside. Guys, we're going to bring in here in just a second Miko and Marco. We're going to do some technical breakdowns with them. They're going to come on and take over the show here for a little bit as well. And also, let me just say, just a reminder, if you have not already heard, we are doing our Black Friday sale. It is currently 45% off to get access to the Edge Finder or to our Discord signals group, both of which can be found in the chat right now. There is a link here for you. If you would like to get access to that 45% off, there it is. Boom, pow. Take advantage. Shoot us a message. We'll get you access to anything you'd like in our store 45% off during this Black Friday event. With that said, guys, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back to Miko and Marco for some technical trade setups coming in right after this.
When your trade goes to the moon with 8cap, this is what it feels like.
3, 2, 1.
All right, and there's your little break from 8cap. And good to have you guys back on the show. What's up, Miko? What's up, Marco?
Hello. What is up? Hope you're good.
Good. And what a crazy day here today. Miko, the last time I talked to you, we were talking about potentially being dollar bearish. Did you have anything in play here today with this dollar fall apart?
Yes, I did. Had Aussie CAD actually, so not a dollar pair, unfortunately. But yeah, Aussie CAD did come back to bite me on my behind a little bit with the news. So unfortunately, it was on the wrong side of it. Would have been nice to get into a dollar position, but unfortunately, nothing set up quite how I liked it to. But I did get a nice Aussie CAD trade here. And I was looking for a continuation of this trend. Aussie CAD's been pretty bearish, as we can see of late. So I've been looking for a lower high, but we had a very, very bullish reaction. So got burnt a little bit there on the news. But again, when you win some and lose some. But I have to say, it's looking very interesting for the dollar pairs because I wasn't too sure which way we were going to go. Some pairs looking quite choppy, but I think with this momentum, especially after DXY, kind of put things really in perspective. So if I can get some pullbacks on some of these dollar pairs, I am glad to look for some shorts. Well, not short DXY, but long Euro USD, maybe short dollar CAD. I really like Euro USD because we're seeing a lot of momentum, and now we're seeing some really nice higher highs and higher lows. So if you can get some pullbacks, I'll be keen for some longs on the retest of this high over here, around 1.07561. So if you can get some pullbacks there, I will be happy to look for some longs. And also gold as well, starting to shape up for some buys. It's a big move, so I'm not too sure if I'll get the retracement I'm looking for back to this area. I think it's a bit much of an ask, but I'll keep an eye for it. But I am looking at gold starting to take off to the upside now, back to 2K potentially.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about gold because it's just popped like crazy here, and makes sense, right? That even if you're not a fundamentalist, like we talk about on the show regularly, it is fair to say that it's pretty clear the reaction here. We had cool CPI numbers. It's what the Fed's been wanting for a long time, and it seems like they've kind of got what the doctor ordered here. So causing some moves in the market. And speaking of moves in the market, especially those dollar pairs, we'll go to Marco. Marco, in terms of USD pairs here. I know you watch a number of them on your watch list. Is this news candle setting up some opportunities for you? I know we talk about this frequently. We cover the news here on the shows, and how they can really create some opportunities in terms of volatility. So I'd love to see what you're looking at today.
Yeah, for sure. So for me, again, this is a clear news candle just by the size of it. I don't look at news, but this is what usually news candles look like, so I can identify it in the price action. And what I like is that immediately after it, we actually continued with the next candle as well. So usually when I see something like this, what happens in like 70% of the cases is we get a range. But what happened today is we actually continued with another candle going up. So that's a very good sign that the markets are ready to push up. So what I'm looking for is, right now I'm looking for an entry, either a flag formation right here, or I'm looking for the price to pull back a bit, break the high, and then retest the high. So one of those two entries I'm looking for, and I'm definitely looking to buy. This looks very good, especially with the clean close on the top. So what I don't like to see is a wick on the top, and here I can see just a tiny wick. So that's a really good sign that the price will continue up even more. I think it's sort of the same on all of the other pairs. So EJ, not as good because of this wick, but still pushing up. AU, absolutely perfect. AJ looking very good as well. The pound, perfect. NJ is looking perfect as well. So I don't really see much in the prior price action. It's kind of flat and range bound. My focus is on these two candles and to see if this momentum will give me an entry, because I'm looking for an entry right now. So in the next, let's say, 4 to 5 hours, I will, if an entry forms, I will take it.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, no, I was going to say that the decisiveness of these candles has been pretty impressive. I was going to ask about the euro, and I guess we'll go to Miko, and we can come back to more setups with Marco in a second. But this euro chart that I've got pulled up is a huge breakout to the upside, as you pointed out, Marco. I mean, these candles show decisiveness, and to your point, oftentimes you see those big moves and then they kind of fizzle out and lose their steam. I think part of the fundamental outlook, I think, is that we've just had such a good, solid back-to-back numbers for dollar weakness. And so this was just the icing on the cake to complete the kind of the story, right? You had Fed meeting that went well, jobs numbers that were good, and the inflation number smacked it right where it needed to get hit. The target was hit. So actually was better than expected. So, you have all these different factors. I think if you start looking at what's happened with the euro, I think a lot of people might be feeling a little bit of FOMO today. They might be feeling like, oh, I missed the move. I want to get involved here. I think, may not get a chance to participate, but I would say the more kind of patient way to approach something like this is to potentially wait for a pullback if it happens. If it doesn't, if you just get that brief pullback before continuation, then again, I think you're kind of back set to waiting. But Miko, what do you think about euro dollar, pound dollar, some of these things that have kind of moved explosively? If you're on the sidelines and you're not in these trades, how do you potentially partake? And if so, where do you look for that?
So yeah, with euro, USD, and pound USD, I prefer euro. It's a little bit cleaner to pound, but yeah, it's an explosive move, and fear of missing out, not participating in these moves is definitely a thing that traders experience. But again, you're going to experience that all the time. You can't be in every move, and sometimes you take the trade expecting the move, and then you get stopped out as well. So it goes both ways. But with this convincing move to the upside here, I think things are really changing here with euro. And when I'm looking at my trends changing, I typically look at momentum as well, similar to Marco, because momentum kind of really shows direction. If we're kind of moving sluggish, correctively, sometimes we don't really see follow through. But with this, especially a strong move previously, consolidation, another strong move, As you said, if we can get some pullbacks to this area here, this looks like a very nice place to pick up some longs. Now, will we get a pullback to that area? It's up to Euro USD. This thing could just continue to fly and maybe just have smaller corrections on the lower time frames. So maybe as the week progresses, we might see levels created on like the hourly chart, maybe 30-minute chart, and there could be some lower time frame opportunities to trade with as such. But for me, focusing the full H, this is where my focus will be. So if it gets there, then I'm going to keep an eye out for it. I'm liking the high lows are starting to print now, but again, it's up to Euro USD if I do get in a trade opportunity. And similar for pound, although pound, I'm not as big of a fan of because it's kind of like a big move up, big move down, big move up. Euro USD seems to bit more of a trend, bit more committed in the direction, although of course they do move very similar. Pound USD just about cleared the highs. I would like it if Pound USD can clear it just a little bit more, and then that will become an area of interest for me. But I don't like it when we just have one candle. I like it to push a little bit higher as well. But out of the two, I think the Euro looks a lot better in my opinion. But again, they're very similar pairs, likely do the same thing. And again, starting to really commit to the upside here. Could be coming up to some areas around 1.26. But yeah, looking for some pullbacks in Euro. So let's see if we can get some.
Fair enough. Yeah, and I guess back to you, Marco, in terms of the rest of your watch list we discussed. Obviously, the Euro so far, we've really dived in there. Anything else on your watch list today that looks as attractive to you?
Yeah, I just want to say, want to touch on a subject that you mentioned. So people missing out on this major move. Well, I would say that is not kind of an issue because many times we get a pullback and then the price actually continues trending up. So I know most people are very hesitant when they see a move like this and then it starts to retrace and then it starts creating new highs. They're very hesitant to buy because they thought that this was the meat of the move, but actually a lot of percentage can be made in the consecutive trend that this move basically sparks. So that is one of the ways to look at it, not to feel the fear of missing out, but actually looking for ways to get in on the trend if it continues, of course. So yeah, dollar setups, definitely looking to buy all of them. Okay, this now continued, so it's not pulling back just yet. The pound is not yet continuing, so it may give an entry. For the Japanese pairs like EJ, yeah, I'm looking for the same thing. I mean, we have two very big, nice candles, and I am looking for like a flag entry or a break and retest entry. So my analysis is the same for all of the pairs. Yeah.
Yeah, basically. Fair enough. Yeah, and again, I think when you get these, it's always exciting when we have these streams and there is like movement at the market. I honestly find it to be a lot more difficult to find trades. And you know, I made this point earlier in the stream. This is going to be very person to person, but I love news days, but probably for a different reason than you guys do. This is the cool thing. Like, we both can appreciate what news brings to the table. For me, it brings directional confirmations. It brings, you know, kind of the story of the fundamentals into play. Whereas for you guys, it might create that volatility in those follow through moves that create more probable or better technical setups. I am still, my current position has only been the S&P long that I've had for 2 weeks now. It has become a monster mover. But again, I think that this is maintaining so much momentum to the upside for the same reasons as some of those currency pairs that we just discussed, our pound dollar, euro dollar. It's really risk appetite seems to be coming in to the markets. And also, you know, you have things like, for example, the Australian dollar against the Japanese yen. You know, these moves against the yen are also happening for the same token. What you're getting right now in markets is you're getting risk appetite that is absolutely on fire. I've made this point several times on stream, so if people hear me say this again, I apologize. This is the Russell. This is the small cap stocks in the United States. The reason I bring this chart up is because while the S&P 500 certainly is up nicely today, the Russell is up almost double. It's almost up 4% today. And that is a ginormous move for any stock index. But the reason it's so impactful, so meaningful, is it just shows, you know, small caps have gotten killed because they're so susceptible to high interest rate environments. You know, companies that are smaller don't have nearly the resources that perhaps like a Google or Apple would have. So the point is, there's a ton of optimism coming in to the markets right now. We're seeing that reflected across the board, whether you're a currency trader, industries trader, gold trader, etc. The fall of the dollar seems to be triggering some really big moves in the market right now. And I think that that could be kind of a change in the secular trend in markets for a little while. So it'll be interesting to see if that continues to play out. I know we mentioned gold here a moment ago, but I want to come back to you, Miko, on gold. So a little bit of a breakout here to the upside. Where are you seeing gold on like the daily chart? Do you think this thing has more room in the short term? Do you think it has to pull back? And I guess what would be your technical breakdown on gold for people who are interested in it?
So yeah, I agree. I think there's a lot of room to the upside for gold, particularly 2050, which is this all-time high resistance for gold. If I quickly go to the monthly time frame, well, we're actually coming into it on the monthly perspective, but you can see we haven't actually been above these prices here. So it's a very, very big level. The market is actually kind of ranging on the higher time frames, but from a daily perspective, there is a lot of room back to 2050. Essentially, what I'm looking at is a very big move here. And I'm looking at this being the pullback of this move and expecting a continuation back to the high. And then if we can break through that high, then we're looking at 2050 over there. So the full process is pretty straightforward. This is what I'm looking at. Of course, whether it happens or not will be up to gold, but we've come back and we tested a very, very nice area. And of course, with DXY selling off aggressively, we kind of got potential catalyst here with some dollar weakness to see gold starting to rise. And I really like the price action. As you mentioned, we're kind of breaking structure, breaking to the upside, starting to print some higher lows in. So what effectively I was looking at coming into today was if we can see a bit more momentum and a retest of this area here. Let me just get rid of those lines, clean up a little bit. I was looking for a retest of this area for the next higher low. Of course, with this momentum, it's a little bit far, but we could still retrace and test those areas. If we continue further, then I may start looking at this high here as well, but I'm not really convinced on the breakout just yet. But of course, we've still got 2 hours, 40 minutes before that candle does close. But in terms of direction, there's a lot of room to the upside back to 2K. And if we clear that, and then I'm looking at 250 as well.
Yeah, that's fair to say. And again, Marco, same question to you. I know you don't trade it, but gold breakdown for us. What do you think based on kind of your momentum focus? Where are we at with gold right now?
So I believe I actually took a look at it last week or something like that and mentioned this sort of a descending structure, which I was seeing like the major lows were being broken kind of correctively in my experience. So I was kind of expecting this to reverse. Again, gold I do not trade, doesn't really work with the strategy that I trade. But I'm not surprised we got this major move to the upside from the descending channel. That is what usually happens in Forex, at least. So my forecast for this would be, I would look for a flag entry right here, basically. Or I would look for a break and retest entry, something like this. And I would look for it right now because my best setups come from descending or ascending channels. And then you get the momentum confirmation like this, a reversal, and then I like to get in because it's usually the beginning of a nice uptrend in this case. So I'll be very interested to buy right now.
Okay, well, fair enough. Well, to both of you guys, I want to thank you for coming on our show here today. We had a lot of coverage and we saved the best for last with you guys coming on. So appreciate you being here. And also, as we finish up with this segment of the show, we'll keep going. We got Frank coming on a little bit. We're going to be going over the COT data, which should be interesting. Before,
I have one question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So this trade, it's a very nice trade that you're running. I was wondering, what's the risk to reward that you're currently running at?
Let me see. So my initial risk on the trade stop loss was, so it's kind of tricky because my initial stop loss was below the previous low, and then I very quickly tightened it. So I guess if you're going off of this risk to reward, this would be floating about a 3.6 to 1. However, shortly after taking the trade, I tightened my stop loss to like right around here. I'm just doing a best guess. I'd have to pull it up, but it was approximately there below this kind of swing low. And so if that was what I'd be looking at, it's like an 8-1. So it's become
very nice. Yeah.
Really, really massive. And I put out a
What's
tweet
your
on
average
my
risk reward usually?
What'd you say?
What is the average risk reward that you usually take?
Well, so because I don't use a strict take profit, my risk reward is all over the place. Because sometimes a ginormous trade like this happens, and they're very rare. And then other times I'll have, you know, in and out. So I guess the average actually comes out to be like a 1.6, 1.7, all things considered. But it's not like it's not like hard coded every time I go for a 3-1 or a 2-1, just because of the nature of my trailing stop approach. But on average, I think it comes out to like a 1.6-1, just based on the break-even trades, the small winners, the big winners, the small losses. You combine it all up, that's been historically about where it's at.
Interesting.
Also, I've been trying to stay transparent with this. This has been a really nice trade for me, but I'm coming off of a 3-month drawdown where I was down a good bit of money. It's on my Twitter if you guys would like to see it. It was an ugly 3 months, so it's nice to come out of a drawdown, but I just always want to stay, you know, transparent with that. Yes, it's a nice trade, but I had to like push through nails and mud in order to get there. So
this is a very good feeling, climbing out, right?
Yeah, no, and I think, you know, if you've been here, if you've been trading for a while, you know how good that does feel, but how difficult drawdowns can be. So, you know, I try not to overly celebrate the right moments, because again, comes with, you got to push through the mud sometimes. So guys, thank you both for coming on the show. Again, your channels have both been dropped in the chat. If you guys do not already have Marco and Miko on your YouTube subscriptions, 100% worth doing. It takes 2 seconds to subscribe to these guys. They're both very technical traders, and if you resonated with their style, then I highly recommend you reach out to them. You find them on YouTube, and I'm sure that they'd be happy to get you some more free help in terms of your trading stuff. So guys, thank you very much for coming on the show.
Thank you.
See you next time.
See you guys. Yep. Always good to have the technical guys on there. We usually do it on Thursdays. We call it Technical Thursdays, but I've got something for you guys. It's in. We have it's long awaited. The COT data is back. Are you guys ready? Now, there was a delay on it. There was a federal holiday, and we didn't, I should have known this. I should have been able to clarify to this you guys sooner. There was conveniently a federal holiday baked in there, and that's why the COT data was a day late. If you guys would like for me to go through the COT report data, I know Frank's going to be joining us in a few minutes as well. If you'd like me to go through the COT data, can we get a COT train going on in the chat right now? If you guys are wanting to see the COT data, if you want me to go through it, type COT train. Let's get some choo-choos in the chat. If you guys want me to go through it, it's a very interesting report. I can tell you right now, COT data is about to be interesting. And I've got it pulled up on this little tab. All I got to do is spam the chat COT train. Let's get it going. Yeah, there you go. Thank you, guys. All right, cool. So I got it ready for you. We're going to take a look at COT data, and here it is. So this is the latest data in terms of the Commitment of Traders report. Now, if you guys don't know what you're looking at, if you're newer to the show, let me just say real quick, this is our smart money tracker. This allows us to take an in-depth look at what big money is buying and selling. Now, there's 2 components to this. There is the COT net positioning, which, by the way, is free on our website, a1trading.com. And there's the more important data, which is not free. We built this and we worked really hard on it, so it does come with a price tag. It's the latest trades, the latest buys and sells from institutional money. So check this out. The first thing I got to show you is if you take a look at net positioning, this is the latest kind of overall positioning. You've still got CAD short, you've got yen short, you've got Swiss franc short, you've got the Australian dollar short, and lo and behold, the Dow as well. On the flip side, you've got USD, you've got gold, you've got oil, and you've got Nikkei. Now, you might say right off the bat, Nick, what do you mean? USD bullish? Yeah, this is why this section of the chart is not as important as the second half. I'm telling you right now, this half is very, very slow, right? So the overall positioning changes very gradually for COT data, but that's why we focus more on this second table, which is the latest smart money trades, the buys and sells category table, which shows you the latest. And here it is, guys. Again, COT trade, COT train in the chat. There's tons of COTs in there. Thank you guys for that. Here's what we got. Boom. the NASDAQ. 3% net institutional bullish setups. Now, what am I looking at? Far right column, guys. This will give you an inside look as to what overall the bullish or bearish flow of what each asset had in the latest filing is. So take a look. NASDAQ, big bulls, right? Big bulls coming in with the NASDAQ. And lo and behold, what do we have? We have the NASDAQ and S&P flying high this week. NASDAQ is up 2% on the day. It's bombing out there. It's flying high. Now, on the same token, you take a look at the other things. Look at what is on the COT. The COT data had a gift-wrapped basket this week. The Australian dollar, the pound, the dollar, the euro, Bitcoin. I mean, most of the risk-on assets are seeing big buys from institutional money. They knew. They had a little bit of a head start, it seems like, on getting in on this risk on train that we've been talking about all day long on the show. Now, what's a little sketchy is that COT showed selling on the S&P 500, which is a little concerning considering I'm long. But again, you still got NASDAQ. There's some appetite for risk there. Oil, they sold. Yen, they sold. I mean, if you've been watching the yen and you saw this from Smart Money, this was a huge signal, right? And then you've also got NZD, CAD, Swiss franc, South African rand, platinum. So my point with showing you guys this here is that this shows us week to week what the big boys and girls, but it just sounds wrong. You don't want to say that. What they've been up to, right? The smart money players, what they've been buying, what they've been selling. So yeah, here is the breakdown. We've showed it here on the screen. Gold, by the way, slight up. NAS, huge up. Nikkei, what is going on with the Nikkei? They're out there buying the Nikkei out in Japan right now. Well, COT data is. But again, I also want to say, just a heads up, if you've would like this data on your own time, if you'd like to pull up this data, I've got something for you. You can now currently get 45% off of this data. We are a software company out of Atlanta, Georgia. We're a small business. And if you enjoy our streams, if you enjoy our software, it is currently the biggest discount of the entire year. So get access to it. It's 45% off. If you message us using the link that's in the chat right now, you'll get access to it for a supersized discount. Again, when you click this link, it will take you to a support center where you can ask someone on our team for access to the COT data, as well as everything else that the EDGEFINDER has. But this is what it looks like when you message us. And here's how to qualify, like I said, for that supersized Black Friday discount. Just message in whichever products you would like, and someone from our team will get you access. And again, that's the best price of the year. We are doing our Black Friday sale early to give people a chance to take advantage of these supersized discounts and get in on the trading signals group, or access to our smart money tracker, or all of the other data that we've got. So take advantage, click that link, and get yourself the right software to set yourself up for better trading. Now, in just a second, we're going to bring in Frank. I'm going to roll a quick break to thank our sponsors who are making these shows possible. And we're going to come back to Frank, get his reaction to everything that went down here today with CPI, COT. I mean, things are happening. Stick around. We'll be right back. Just give us 30 seconds. We'll be right back.
I really don't understand why we're looking for this planet.
Frank, it's because someone told us that there's this planet out there where traders can get funded up to $200,000 in simulated trading accounts. And if you pass, you get the chance to get all your money back. It's really kind of a trader's paradise.
Traders have been searching the stars for a place like this, and it's just too good to be true.
Frank, you just gotta believe. Once you get there, they'll give you 15% off any examination with promo code A1Trading15.
Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it.
All right, Frank, take us out of hyperspace.
Coming out of hyperspace. Now. That's FX2.
That's it. That's FX2. The legends are true. It is as good as they say.
Wow, this is incredible. There's a big giant sign that's got a promo code at the front that says A1 Trading 15 for 15% off.
We finally made it to FX2. Get your discounted access to their trading accounts right now. Link and promo code down below in the description and in the chat right now.
Can you repeat all of that once again?
No.
All right, and we are back with the man, the myth, the legend. He's here. What's up, Frank?
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good. So not a bad day, huh?
No, not at all. We saw exactly what we wanted to see. Lower CPI across the board. Last week we almost got stopped out or trailed out, I mean. And we were like, if we trail out, we take a win. We'll take what we get. But fortunately enough, it didn't hit it, kept going. So dollar looks super weak. The 2 years coming down hard. And I think the S&P has quite a bit of room to go up until we hit certain targets, as in, let me full screen this so it's easier to look at. So we have highs around 45.16 and then 45.41. This is on the 4-hour view, but just looking at previous tops, like we've broken clear above this falling trend line, clear above this megaphone pattern, lows around here that we broke in 44.20s, and just a very strong 4-hour candle on the last 4-hour candle, and then we're off to a good start now. But what it looks like it might want to do is possibly test these two levels. And in the meantime, we've seen a massive run, so there could be some consolidation, but I think we are closer to the target than we are to support. So I think that the index is likely going to complete this move, and then we'll see where it goes from there.
Yeah, I mean, Frank, it's as you mentioned, we can't we were looking at our position last week when Jerome Powell was set to speak, and we were staring at it. We were saying, yeah, we're going to probably get trailed out here. But, we weathered the storm, and it just goes to show how, markets are difficult. We never know exactly how far they're going to pull back. But the reference that Frank and I are making is that we trailed our stops here, last week, just shy of where price pulled back to. And of course, there's been plenty of times, admittedly, I'll self-tell on myself, there's been plenty of times where I trail it right there. I get tagged out and then it does this move without me. So it's nice to be in it this time. And again, Frank, I just want to say we both caught this trade and pretty much traded exactly right. So it's especially cool that we caught the same trade that worked so well. And again, this is coming off. I've made this point each time we talk about the trade because I want to stay real with people. I had a 3-month losing streak. I had winners in there, but net P&L was down for 3 months straight, and that sucked for a long time. Frank and I were looking at each other, we're like, nothing's working. And lo and behold, you stick to the plan, you stick to the strategy, you stick to what works for you long term. It comes around. It's just, this is the mental game of trading is when it's right, when it's going well, you can't get too excited. And when it's going terrible, you can't abandon your entire philosophy. So it's nice to see it working out. And just as much as I'm excited about the trade, congrats to you for taking the trades as well, Frank.
Thanks. Yeah, it was a great run. So I think, I guess at this point we continue to trail or, I guess take profit, but I guess it's now off to the next sort of series of trades to look at. So far, risk on pairs. I've been mentioning those for a while, but never took any trades. So what I'm hoping for now is, for the trend to stay where it's at. If we see a pullback from this initial boost from what we saw at CPI, then have to kind of look towards a deeper pullback to support zones, maybe trend lines or channels. But Euro USD in particular, if it can hold above this level, hold above the 200-day, I will likely be waiting for a pullback. But as long as it stays above these levels, then I'll be more confident in taking a long trade on stuff like this.
Yeah, no, I think you look at all the stuff that we had, Frank. You had the kind of just as you pointed out this morning. I walked out of the stream room for a little bit in my office here. You pointed out it was just like a back-to-back. Like we had the home run hit. This was like bases loaded, and we just smacked it out of the park. It was like the perfect round of data. You had cooling jobs, wages that looked good. You had Jerome Powell backing off his ultra hawkishness, and then now you have inflation coming down, and this is the march for inflation victory, right? Everybody who was, and it's evident again. I'm going to make this point for the 1700th time. But IWM, the Russell is declaring victory on inflation right now. Now, of course, I'm not saying there's not going to be pullbacks and sell-offs, but right now the market is voting that inflation has been beaten, and that you see it no more prominently than in the small caps, which have gotten destroyed. It's up 4.5% on the day. The
That's
Russell,
about like three or four times what the S&P is doing right now.
Yeah,
Or actually like
yeah.
2 times. We're about
Yeah.
2% on the S&P, and that's 4.5. So that's when the small caps are outpacing the market. That's a really good sign.
That is evident in, there's I in every pocket of the market right now, whether you're a currency trader, indices trader, stock trader, risk on is prevailing. It's like I said, it's the march to victory right now. You've got the dollar tanking, as Frankie pointed out, yields are coming down hard. You have counter currencies to the dollar having a heyday, right? Euro, pound, and look at the yen. The yen, also a lot of the yen pairs moving higher as people are making a move into risk assets. And I think that sets us up for a sustained end of the year rally. And I've made this point several times as well with each guest that coming on, Frank. What do you do if you're somebody who's not partaking? Because you and I know there's times where these sorts of moves are happening and we're sitting there kicking our shoes together like, dang, we are not partaking. So that we're staying constructive for people who are maybe listening who are not involved in all this. What do you say to them? How do you play this? Do you stay patient? What's the game plan if you're missing the move right now?
Just from my own personal experience, when you chase markets, especially after a huge run, like the S&P doesn't run up 2% in 2 hours on the day. Like that's a very rare occurrence. And usually if it does, it takes like all day to do that. So this is definitely overextended. Doesn't mean it can't go higher. I think it's going to test those levels that I was talking about, 45.16, 45.41. But you also don't want to risk getting in at the top and then having it pull back, and basically that's the worst feeling when markets are up. They're up big time and you get long and you end up losing on the day. That's a pretty bad feeling. And I've had several occasions where I've chased the markets and things just didn't work out. But what you have to just understand is that like setups, these types of things, buy setups, short setups, they're going to keep coming. It doesn't mean it's left you forever. So I would say be patient, because you'll have good times chasing price and you'll have bad times chasing price. And usually good is really good and bad is really bad because of how volatile everything is. So
that's a good way of putting it. I think it's really important to make that point, Frank. I mean, yes, there's a big move today, but it's not the last big move ever. There will be plenty of big moves and opportunities. And maybe all you do today is you say, hey, you know what? Congrats to the Bulls. They have their day in the sun, and maybe just prep for the next move. I think,
and also as you are bullish now because of CPI, because of higher jobs, lower wage growth, lower CPI across the board. This is now that bullish environment, that this is the fundamentals we were looking for. The market's clearly reflecting that. But what we need to see now is more setups. Right now, there's not a setup to the long side. It's just a straight candle up. We're going to have to wait for some sort of pullback at some point. And yeah, even if I get trailed out too, or if I decide to take profit, it's not, I haven't switched sentiment on the indices. I'm still going to be looking for longs. I'm waiting for that retest at March 22 highs, which is above 4,600. So I think there's plenty of upside and plenty more opportunities for long trades on the S&P.
Well, Frank, congrats on your trade. I'll let you go. And again, we'll continue to watch out for more setups, and we'll be back throughout the week to cover them. So thanks for coming on.
Sweet. Thank you.
See you, Frank. Yeah, big shout out to Frank. He caught the same move that I did. We've been watching the indices together. Naturally, we've traded together for a long time, but we do usually have varying trades. It's just that we both caught this S&P. We both, without even speaking to each other, Frank and I were both entered into a trade, shared the notification. I think we're 1 day removed from taking the trade. I mean, indices trades. That's Ivan's. Indices trades. So Frank, he's trailing his stop. He's been holding on to this one for, let's see, more than 10 days ago. Same thing with me. I mean, this is not something we've just held on to this trade and just kept trailing and trailing and trailing. So we continue to monitor that. Any new trades that we take, like I said, will be shared inside of Discord. If you're not in the VIP group, this is where the action is happening. You can get notifications directly to your phone anytime we take trades. If that would be something that you're interested in getting, message us right now. We've got a link in the chat. We can give you some more information, pricing options. We can give you, track record details, more information about what the signals look like. If you are serious about your trading and you'd like to join a community that is set up for real traders, this is not a copy service. This is an insightful service where you can see the trades being taken by people who've been doing this for a long time. Between myself, Frank, and Ivan, you've got to get at least 25 years of market experience. So if you'd like access to this, definitely click the link that's in the chat right now. By clicking this link, you'll be able to also ask for that 45% off discount that's going on for Black Friday. Don't miss out. That is a supersized discount. It's our best price of the year to get in on the trades, and you'll be with us for a lifetime access. So here's the thing. When you join our VIP group, we have right now for Black Friday, it's 45% off our gold VIP membership, which is a one-time fee. You just pay, you're into the group, and you get to stick around, join the coaching webinars, chat rooms, and see our trades for good. So definitely pick us up on that offer. If that's something you've been thinking about doing, it is the best time of the year. So take advantage, get access. And also, by the way, look at all these setups the EDGEFINDER is generating. We've got some risk on currency pairs, pound pairs showing up, potentially benefiting from some of that risk sentiment coming into the EDGEFINDER's algorithm. NASDAQ also still in there. Love to see that. DAX in there. Pound yen bullish setup. Good to see a pound yen. Pound Swiss, same thing. Again, got some interesting setups forming on the EDGEFINDER's algorithm as well, as we factor in all this inflationary data and risk on sentiment that seems to be coming into the markets right now. So final word on that, again, with the 45% off sale, you can also get access to the EDGEFINDER and the algorithm that it has, as well as the COT data, etc., all 45% off. Take advantage. Thank you guys very much for sticking around on our show here today. What a crazy CPI number to end out this kind of streak of good data that we've ridden this S&P move on. So with that said, guys, it's going to wrap up the stream, I think, right? James, Chandler, are we good? Is that the end of the stream? Sorry, I got to pull up I should know this. You guys put together a schedule. Yeah, I think that's the end of the stream. So thank you guys very much for tuning in to today's show. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your trading day. And with that said, we'll see you next time. See you guys.
Thanks again for flying with us on the A1 Trader. Our goal at A1 Trading is to give you the latest in market news through our daily videos and articles. Take advantage of our huge Black Friday sale, 45% off, happening all month on our best products we have to offer. A1 Trader, prepare for the return home.